throw in his team. Now on Saturday night, the U.S. had a ferocious forecheck. They shut down Canada. Canada gets one of the game's great players.
Come on. You're going to be kidding me.
Makar is a breakout machine. He is going to be critical if Canada's going to be able to break the U.S. pressure and forecheck, and Canada to generate some offense. The U.S. on the other hand, they're going to be Charlie McDavid. The best game I've ever seen him play Saturday night. He brought McDavid a couple of times. Defensively, he was a rock. Zach Morrissey in Columbus, the U.S.'s leading scorer. He'll take a bigger role again tonight. The biggest stars in the world ready to go. Mike Sullivan hails the 200-foot play of the star centers. Austin Matthews and Jack Hagel. Tonight they'll try to outshine two best forwards in the world. McDavid and MacKinnon. And one of the all-time greats, Sidney Crosby. The opening face-off from Boston in a moment.
This is a moment of great opportunity. Two proud nations, two hockey powers,
Hey.
one game.
It's time to play. Right? Come on. Hey, let's go here, guys. You gotta go up and earn it. It's all about attitude. We need that American swag. It's all the little moments that will create one big, huge one.
Jesus.
It's the right country proud of their boys.
Sorry, guys. My phone was screwing up for a moment. I'm going to get this loaded up right now.
It's one game. One game. So which of these teams will go out there and take it? This is the championship game of the Four Nations Face-Off on ESPN.
When others are giving you one topping pizzas for $9.99, Domino's is going to give you all the toppings for $9.99. That's right, get any crust with any toppings for $9.99.
Well, it's a Thursday, February 20th. Joe and I are with you alongside Alec Nava. I'm getting him in here in a moment. My phone was freezing up a little bit, so I was getting a little paranoid. But it is time for the championship game in just a moment. It's Team USA, head coach by Mike Sullivan. It's Brayden Tkachuk, Jack Eichel, Matthew Tkachuk, Jake Getzel, Austin Matthews, Jack Hughes, JT Miller, Dylan Larkin, Matt Baldy, Brock Nelson, Vincent Trocheck, Chris Kreider, Noah Hannafin, Adam Fox on defense with Jacob Slavin and Brock Faber, Zach Werenski, and Jake Sanderson. So Kyle Connor will be a scratch and forward. Charlie McAvoy has that injury inside the arm, so he's not going to be playing today. And Connor Hellebuck will be in the goal crease. And for Team Canada, head coach by John Cooper, it sounds like this: Brayden Point, Connor McDavid, Mark Stone, Sidney Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon, Sam Reinhart, Brandon Hagel, Anthony Cirelli, Mitch Marner, Brad Marchand, Sam Bennett, Seth Jarvis. On defense, it's Devon, Toews, and Cale, Makar, Travis Sanheim, Colton Parayko, Thomas Harley, Drew Doughty. Shea Theodore, as you know, got injured in the opening game, and Josh Morrissey has an illness, so he won't play on the defensive side, and Travis Konecny needs a scratch. Jordan Binnington still getting the start in goal. Alec, we've had some days to think about this now as far as who wins and what's at stake. Again, we did know that Quinn Hughes, they were trying to get him on the roster. He was skating in Vancouver with the red non-contact jersey. He's not going to be playing because he would have needed another injury. But Charlie McAvoy is a big loss. Still, how do you see this?
It's going to be a very close game between these two. You're two powerhouses in the sport. And Canada is the D class of hockey as it is. No matter how hard it is to count them out, you can never truly count out Canada in any tournament. Their experience is going to be very invaluable to such a tournament like this one, with all of the star talent they have. Plus, Cale Makar, who missed the first game between USA and Canada, he's available tonight, so that's going to be their big addition to a team that already has the likes of McDavid, Crosby, MacKinnon. That's a very tough fight to go up against, especially against a Canada team that's won 9 best-on-best tournaments since the 1976 Canada Cup. The only time in which USA has won a best-on-best tournament with NHL players, you have to go back to 1996 in that year's World Cup of Hockey. 29 years to ponder about, but 29 years to wash the pain away here for the United States and a chance to assert themselves as the new king of the hockey realm. And for this to be a huge momentum boost for next year's Winter Olympics.
Yes, it would be. Again, you have the mix alongside for Austin Matthews. You had some other guys come back. You mentioned it alongside for Cale Makar. He's going to be there. So as we get the players coming out on the ice, again, Jordan Binnington is going to get the start one more time. I'm going to go ahead and lay my prediction out there. And I'm going to go ahead and use it with the head and not the heart, as we usually do here, Alec. And I've had a few days to think about it now. And Cale Makar, again, is such a big addition for Team Canada. I think that is enough to sway me in one way or the other, because we talked about it in the third period on the Saturday when I joined you late. When the United States able to dump in the puck successfully enough and kind of hold on to that lead. Dylan Larkin's goal ended up standing. The United States win the last one 3-1. But he had 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. I think he had all the other extracurricular stuff get out of the way for Canada. So now you can go into this one. I think you can concentrate on the hockey. I think it's an easier role to play as the villain. So as that said, if this prediction is going to hold, Jordan Binnington's going to have to play his best game. That means 2 goals or less. I got Canada winning this one 4-2 on an empty netter.
And for me, it's for going to sway one way or another. For all intents and purposes, initially I was going with 3-2 United States. However, looking at the injury to Charlie McAvoy, that's going to be a huge loss here for the United States. Not to mention the fact that Quinn Hughes was not medically cleared before this championship game that started before all of this. But you have Austin Matthews back into the lineup. The Kachuk brothers are back together, but we don't know how effective they're going to be because they dealt with separate injuries. We have to also ponder that factor. I don't expect it to be at 100%, but I think they'll be as good as 90% of their effective selves. Then you got Matthews right between Jake Gensel and Jack Hughes. That is going to be the top line for the United States. The Kachuk brothers and Jack Eichel, that's a good top 6 line. Kyle Connor, unfortunately, didn't find a place here because he just seems to be on the outside looking in. He's more suited as a top 6 forward. And given that he's on a 4th line, that wasn't the place for him. Ideally, that's Chris Kreider coming in. So I understand the logic with that. For Canada, getting Cale Makar back is huge. But losing Josh Morrissey doesn't do justice for the second power play unit. So with that, do you put Devon Toews on the second power play unit? That's why I lean towards. Carter Hellebuck is going to be huge, but up against that top-end talent, I think Canada's going to be tough to go up against. Yeah, I'll be cheering for the USA, but my head tells me that's going to be a final score 3-2 with Canada winning.
Okay, so we both got Canada. I already know where Owen's going to go on this, so he can leave his prediction there alongside. But I do think we're all saying it's going to relatively be a close game. It's going to be a fight, but I do think everything else from last Saturday is only going to benefit Canada here, just to simply concentrate on the hockey.
That's my same sentiment too. Is that your same sentiment, and Owen?
Yeah, I totally agree. And if there's one thing that defines this Canadian team this entire tournament, it's questionable decisions, primarily around goaltending. I think Binnington is their top guy. I mean, he should have been on this team, yes, but I think there potentially could have been better choices. If you want to go a little bit beyond that, though, we clearly have the best team in the tournament, I would say. Our goaltending last Saturday, Alec and I were on the game. It was a great time. Canada's goaltending just wasn't there. We've got the best player in the world in Connor McDavid. We've got a solid defensive core. We're capable of winning this. We blew 2 goals in the third, though, on Monday against Finland, when we had absolutely dominated that game. And that's the problem. We can't allow that to happen against the Americans. Finland should have been a cakewalk for us, and unfortunately it wasn't for the last 20 minutes.
Think about it too. Again, Owen and Alec and I talked about this a little bit covering the latter game with USA and Sweden. USA had 25 giveaways in the game against Sweden. You're talking about some of the other stuff, and the last one for Finland, for Canada. I do think that is going to get cleaned up tonight for both teams. So if I have to guess, I wouldn't worry about any sort of mental lapses, because you're absolutely right, Owen. You can't afford it against either one of these teams, but I do think we're going to be seeing the best hockey tonight between both squads.
Easily. This is the most anticipated game in the long time since the NHL has returned to the Olympics, the most anticipated game in the NHL this season. We're talking about most anticipated games. You think of the likes of Panthers Oilers Game 7, Rangers Canucks Game 7, and all of the previous Game 7s all about. Any scenario where you have something like this, and incredible comebacks that come into factor, anything can happen, and there's the realistic possibility of anything happening. Chaos bringing to the table.
I'm a little worried as an American fan. Again, you look at that for Jake Sanderson on the back end for Charlie McAvoy. We already profiled that, but Jake Sanderson was shoot first, ask questions later, and Zach Werenski is more of an offensive defenseman. He's having a great year. Don't get anything wrong about that. He's having a great year. But I do think that third line might be a little bit suspect. You could say the same thing with Thomas Harley and Drew Doughty, but I do think Drew Doughty's still trying to get his legs underneath him. Thomas Harley's been great for Dallas. I would be a little bit concerned about that third defensive line for the United States. And if you say Canada is due to score some goals against Connor Hellebuck's given up one in every single one of these games. He has been terrific. But this might be the night, again, when you think about it, when it's all hockey and all business, that Connor Hellebuck might be due to give up more than a few. Because we'll say this honestly, if Canada is held to just one, they're not going to win this game against the United States tonight. They're not going to get shut out. Alec and I firmly believe that. But that is where we are right now. And as we get to the anthems, Alec, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. I'm just going to lead it right off the bat. If you want to go ahead and take first swing at this thing, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with it as well. But looking at both angles, we both are in agreement that Canada is going to score at least once in this. We don't anticipate Connor Hellebuck to get a shutout, but at the very least, at the very most, allowing at least two goals in regulation. If this is going to be a 3-2 Canada victory, or a 4-2 Canada victory, in which I'm predicting about, then I think this is going to be a game decided in overtime. And we know what happened the last time Canada and USA met in an overtime game in the 2010 Winter Olympics.
Well, we'll see if my heart can even handle overtime. Should we get anywhere close to that? If this is, within the last 5 minutes and it's a one-goal game, I would think you would expect all of us to have our collective hearts in our throat. But really, gentlemen, that is what we're hoping for. We want to see everything that we saw on Saturday and maybe a little bit more. And I know the NHL and all of us are really happy to see that over 10 million people watched the game on Saturday. I'm expecting those numbers to go even greater north.
I would love it. It does the NHL justice this season on a year in which has otherwise been not so friendly for ratings here in the National Hockey League. But this, when you compare it to the two nationally televised NBA games tonight, this should take the cake.
You would hope so. The NBA has a strange amount of pull in that country that I, especially considering its current state, I will never understand. But I'm hoping this goes north of 10 million. In Canada, I'm certainly expecting it to go north of 3 million. Unfortunately, they're not putting it on over-the-air television like they did on Saturday, which is going to probably drop off about 300,000-400,000 people.
That seems like an awful shame, Owen, especially on the Canada side, to not even have it be on over-the-air TV. I think this should be as easy access for anybody.
Yeah, because they had it on they had both games on Saturday actually on CTV, but prime time on Thursday night. I guess they don't want to interrupt that. I don't know. I mean, they get better ratings. I don't understand the logic of Rogers Media.
Well, we are making our way through the anthems. I will say that there was slight boos for the Canadian anthem. I'm not going to say it was as crass on the other side. Again, I'm keeping the politics out of it, just letting you know where it is. But I would not expect in any other place other than Boston for Wayne Gretzky to ever be booed again. That's what I was thinking, the same thing on that one. So I'm glad that we can all keep our reservations to the side and just enjoy this. Alec.
The answer to that question is very political, and I don't think we should get into it.
No, I'm not. We're just letting you know what's going on. But
the only people that I would say that USA should be play for are the Control brothers. Full stop.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely what this is for. Again, we talked about the situation between Brady and Matthew and their health. Austin Matthews, the same thing. You know what, gentlemen, we can at least say this. In between this four nations, and it's been a 10 out of 10, and everything's been terrific. Can't tell me that these guys aren't doing it for pride in the nation and putting their bodies on the line. I mean, they're going to be nursing some injuries as soon as the NHL season heads back into Saturday. It's not going to be much of a rest.
Not a big break in between. When Saturday we see the return of the National Hockey League back into action. And while I will be away until the 5th of March because visiting family, I will be back in time for the trade deadline to cover that and all the way on the breakdowns.
I might have to join you for that one, depending on the schedule as well. I know I joined you a couple of years ago, and that was a lot of fun. You do so much extra work.
The 7th.
Seth, yep.
What day is the trade deadline?
That's Friday, the 7th of March.
Ooh, yeah, I don't think I can be there for that. I think we're doing a law school thing that day. That sucks.
Yeah, I might join you for that one, Alec. I know you do a lot of work on that side, and we have a lot of fun with it. And I joined you a couple of years ago. I'm going to try to do that again to make sure to get in. As we look at Jordan Binnington, before he's getting all set up in the goal crease, it is jam-packed at TD Garden in Boston, and I'm sure tickets are about north of 1,500 plus. And you're going to get set to take it away. I'll back you up here for the first, and then we'll switch across. And Alec, before we get into this, I just want to say thank you for working with me across this entire tournament. This is better than I could have ever expected. Let's hit it on a high note.
Let's end this off at the best that we can ever do, especially so with this on the line. For all the marbles, it is a great day for hockey, as the late Mike Lang would say, and rest in peace to a great one. And he's on to a better place.
Connor Hellebuck's number is brilliant. Again, a .955 save percentage that is certainly going to be challenged. Really don't know what we're going to get. We kind of headline our predictions. We all took Canada all within a goal or two, maybe even an empty netter. That does not mean the United States can't do this. We've seen them do it on Saturday. We've seen them build in the World Juniors. Again, you can talk about the Canadian prospects of the team they brought over, but the United States is ready for this. It's going to have to be, I would imagine, Alec, a hellacious first 10 minutes for Canada. I would say the United States has to make sure they survive the first push.
That's what I would imagine too. Survive the first push, and then that's when you can start attacking. Canada's going to be swinging out the gates. And Jordan Binnington, even though he has to show out his big game moments like he did in Game 7 against the Bruins here at this very venue. That was in 2019, but he has a knack for the big moments. He has started every game for Canada in net. Game 3 of the trip was a do-or-die situation for Canada. They needed to win in regulation, or in the event if they wanted overtime or a shootout. Any outcome of that USA-Sweden game should not have ended in a Sweden regulation victory. We have the McDavid line up against the Hagel line on the ice. The first two picks of 2015. How poetic is this 10 years later?
Yeah, it's crazy how the way it works. It's a very small world. It's best on best. This is the rematch that we've been waiting for since Saturday. I akin it to Ali Frazier with the 3 fights in 9 seconds, with each rematch being as good, and this second one is going to be as good. We have a little bit more of repairs, a little bit of ice side to get set as these lines continue to move around, but I'm interested to see, as you mentioned, with both Tkachuks now on the first line with Eichel, the United States have done a lot of moving on their lines. And I see Mark Stone on the first line with McDavid. Sam Reinhart's been moved with MacKinnon and Crosby. So that should be a dynamic second line as well. And Hagel and Cirelli will be on the third line with Marner from the pre-side skate. We'll see how that switches there, but there's been a lot of adjustments on both sides.
Here we go. The puck is about to be dropped here at TD Garden. McDavid and Eichel ready to face up. And we're underway. Let's go. As this is dumped in, Canada beginning this right on a swivel, putting USA on a headlock, and the whistle's blown just 8 seconds in. No gloves dropped as opposed to the first match, but still, these two are keeping their heads afloat.
So we take the 8 seconds. We already take away 2 of the fights. We're still in line for 1. We got 1 second if they want to do it right away, but I don't think that's going to happen. You got Brad Marchand on the 4th line now with Bennett. Bennett draws in with Seth Jarvis.
It doesn't appear to be any sort of fights whatsoever. The 4th line was some big shakeups. They want Sam Bennett in the lineup sort of as a counter to what USA has with all their grit and punches. So that at the expense of Travis Konecny, another Marchand type. At the far corner, it is Connor McDavid looking for Mark Stone. He gets tangled up in the right circle. Stone trying to hold this inside, but USA grabs a hold of this. Hagel will send this on to Binnington from the right line, and Binnington holds onto it, and just like that, pushing and shoving as Brayden Kachuk is trying to become Canada's public enemy number 1.
We'll see if they go ahead and take somebody already out there. I think they might already. The refs were already pointing toward the penalty box. You had Devon Toews in the mix there alongside Cale Makar. Cale Makar was really getting shoved with Kachuk, but they're just going to go ahead and press on here, Alec. No penalties.
No penalties. Brayden Kachuk, he's the only player in the NHL with at least 20 goals and 170 hits. The Tampa line loses based on one timer spoke wide of Binnington. Recollected the far corner. USA able to hold this. One timer gets home. Smoked him wide the net. At the near corner, gets home fighting Jack Hughes. This defender good on a swivel. Austin Matthews fired this one, blocked in front, and backhand away. The Tampa line will check this forward. Cirelli, and on the chase down in his spots, shoved around by Cirelli. USA almost dispossessed, but then they're taking this one on 2-on-3. Wide they go to Hughes at the right circle. Matthews turned away by Binnington. Matthews can't recollect it and is knocked over towards the near corner. Travis Sanheim still knocking on to Matthews. Cleared out by Cirelli and will be picked up from the 4 Nations face-off logo as both teams will make changes. And USA will start up, chip forward by Doughty as he's in pursuit of the puck. Drew Doughty's back. Now to the far half boards. Canada will scoop it up. MacKinnon will loft it for Reinhart. Reinhart canceled out, and scooping it is Sanders as Morrissey shoved off Reinhart. And out for the near corners, Morrissey on the cross pass. Back over to the far side, where it's sent on towards the back towards and collected at the near corner by JT Miller, who cannot handle it any longer as he was going to bring wide for the pass. MacKinnon will find his Halifax brothers, Sidney Crosby. Brothers by blood, not by blood. Lobbed it down, no icing. Devon Toews moving this one away from Dylan Larkin. And starting ahead is Cale Makar. On for the near side, Seth Jarvis set up Marchand. Marchand overskate the puck. It's bounced around in a good hole by Jarvis. Want to go down low. He was looking for Marchand. At the far half boards, USA moves over it. And stumbling was mentioned Trocheck. Rock Nelson back deep. At the far side, Canada will scoop it up. Jarvis, the Carolina boy, plays. He's out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, out for the Carolina Hurricanes. Native of Winnipeg, though, at the far corner. At Canada's own, Brayden Kachuk trying to take it 1-on-3, but too many Canadians in the way. Now Canada will scoop it up to be 1-on-2 after several changes, and Hellebuck had to turn away a shot from the blue line. And USA's battle for this puck, that was Sam Bennett, who tried that one from 60 feet. Travis Sanheim all the way back as this was chopped back deep away from Hagel. Parayko for the St. Louis Blues. Still to get up through the far boards. Parayko lobbed it for Sanheim, and in comes Hagel. Right across, and the shot was stopped by Hellebuck. Marner keeping this down low. In pursuit of Cirelli. Cirelli kept it alive. Deep shot kicked out by Hellebuck. It's scooped up by Matthews. USA will take this in 2-on-2. It is Gensel. Gensel across. Morrissey fires. Hey, rebound swept away. That was Cirelli defending in front. Here's Parayko. Colton Parayko, 2-on-1. Has Morrissey. Parayko shut down by Hellebuck. The first good chance by Canada tonight. And we're a free shot apiece between the two teams. Sanderson sends it up for Gensel, and it was bodied up by Toews. And so Canada will scoop it up from their own end as point moves away from Larkin. Deflected up. And was this out of play? Yes, it was.
Couple of good chances in off the rush there, as you mentioned there, Colton Parayko, but Jake Gensel first just shoots it wide. near the right side post. The drop there from Hughes to Matthews. That was a little 5-hole save toward the right post as they're profiling some of the U.S. chances. But with speed, you had that mix there with Parayko. Couple of good saves for Connor Hellebuyck on the other end as Canada's got a 3-2 shot edge.
They took a shot away from the United States. Stars and Stripes trying to win this face-up. Canada's looking to win a defensive zone draw. Brayden point will take it and win it. Caves around from the far corner. It's cleared out the zone. Slave is dispossessed. Mark Stone relentlessly pursued its puck. Rob Faber grabs it from deep in his own end. Lost it out, bounced off a Doughty, and scooped up by Parayko as Canada takes it back inside. Point spun around by Faber. So hold the puck. JT Miller is right there, though. Faber, the hometown boy, played for the Wild. Cleared out by USA, deflected off Canada, and they'll scoop it up with their own zone. The Rouges with it. Drew Doughty, the longtime LA Kings defenseman. Thomas Harley sends around for the far boards. He is the replacement for Josh Morrissey as Morrissey is under the weather. Back for Harley. Harley goes to the near half boards for MacKinnon. Single-handedly scoring the running score! Knights from deep! And Canada's on the board as they scratch their backs with a hacksaw.
There we go.
That's a perfect shot there for MacKinnon. A little bit 5-hole on the move. We've seen him do that before. We talk about Connor McDavid. We talk about Nathan MacKinnon. I got MacKinnon in that same breath, Alec. I always do. That right on the side from the left side, Doubt with that right-handed shot. Gets around the USA defense. I can't even say that. He just shoots it in between 3 players. And that's going to be Hellebuyck because there's no way he's going to be able to track that with all the traffic in front as well. No chance.
You might have heard the Mike Lang shout out with it. Scratch their backs with a hacksaw. I want to give him a shout out with one of his iconic catchphrases to begin this up. But Canada is up and rolling here. 1-0 as MacKinnon did it all himself. A tournament-leading 4th goal of this tournament. And safe to say, he's not done. USA tries to counter. Pass in front, just missed Matthews. And Crosby wanted to clear and took a bounce off a skate. Sanheim from the near side, who sent us behind Hellebuyck, who scooped it over to the far corner. The Stars and Stripes want a counter punch, and they're taking some time with it. Zach Morrissey, power play quarterback number 1, as Quinn Hughes was not medically cleared in advance of this game. Morrissey sends this one deep. It was deflected. Binnington plays it out over to the near half boards. Marchand got shoved, and USA will restart with his puck. Sent in deep by the Stars and Stripes. Makar is the first one to retreat the puck. One hand distance away, but the Americans and Adam Fox got plasterized at his own point. That's got to feel painful.
And there's a lot of heavy hits. So I've even seen Dylan Larkin throw a few for the United States, but Adam Fox got absolutely stood up near the right side blue line. Again, they're just showing Thomas Harley making the right play. He's just moving it around the horn here. And Nathan MacKinnon between 3 defenders and then the traffic out in front as Jake Sanderson might have even possibly screened Hellebuyck there. There's no chance for him to make that save. And for Nathan MacKinnon to even get that shot through traffic is absolutely incredible.
That's a ridiculous shot. It was from a ridiculous point for 3 points. See, sometimes that does not go in, but it did. As Nathan MacKinnon found the open hole. Sam Reinhart the screen as well. Dumped inside, USA the first to retrieve off the deflection. Behind Hellebuyck's crease, Hagel on the drive, scoped up in the near corner. It is Marner. To the point, Harley. Now Doughty, who mishandled. Doughty fires it. Hellebuyck turns it away. Rush for the puck in the near half boards. 41 to collect it. Can't do it, but it's Cirelli keeping his in. Cirelli, wide at the net. Trying to get another chance. Can't. Cirelli backhands. He wanted backhand to the left point, but can't do so. And still stopped by the near corner. Hagel there. Cirelli also there. Collected by Doughty. The Americans wanted to tie this one up at 1. They dumped this down. Canada scored first in all 4 of their games. The USA has trailed in all 4 of their games. 2 wins and 1 loss. But you can never count out this USA squad. Pure grit and determination. Canada has taken this back. Sanheim waits at his own blue line. Now delivers one over towards the right side. Then deflected away. USA will take this one across the blue line. Matthew Kachuk with McDavid on him. course, McDavid wants to get a little taste of revenge after what happened in the 2024 Stanley Cup Final, a 3-0 comeback in which the Oilers were 1 goal shy of tying it up. A masterclass defensive effort by Paul Maurice's Florida Panthers. Gensel from the near side. Gensel fires. Binnington had the answer. With 12:38 to go in the period.
I'm not saying this to be hyperbolic, Alec, because there is nobody that's going to replace Nathan MacKinnon, who's really been the best player in this tournament for Team Canada. But when I look at it, especially in the lineups today, Kyle Connor just hasn't done anything enough in the tournament to be able to go ahead and play. So he got scratched tonight. But really, Jake Gensel is the only other counterpoint here for me for the United States. Be able to get the guy that can lead some goals and someone that I absolutely feel confident in game and game out.
Even if he's not a Pittsburgh Penguin or Carolina Hurricane anymore, I'm still confident in Jake Gensel and his scoring ability to tie this one up for the Americans. That if it were one apiece or even get a clutch goal at any point, he just continues to deliver.
Yeah, he's been that guy. And again, I'm wondering at least, because again, you started with Gensel, Matthews, and Hughes. That line has not changed. You move Larkin up to the third line. And Mike Sullivan admittedly said that he wants more speed on his power play. It makes me wonder, and again, we can talk about this, with a game like this, you're going to feel that this will be a Game 7 Stanley Cup final. What I mean by that is the refs aren't going to call any penalties here unless it's absolutely egregious. But if we do get to power play line numero dos, Dylan Larkin's probably one of those guys for me, Alec, and again, is because I've seen it a lot. He can score a ton on the power play, provide speed, and wins draws. That might be something that they have to look into.
You said it there. Dylan Larkin with his speed and his knack for scoring on the power play, he can do it all on both special teams. And the second power play is going to be a focal point. We know about the top power play for Team USA. Gensel, Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk, Zach Werenski, those four need no introduction. The second power play is where it gets interesting as well. You did mention Dylan Larkin, another guy who wants to be a focal point in a second power play. Chris Kreider with his knack for net front goals. He's a valuable asset on the power play as well.
Yeah, I look at that again. He scored the opening goal there against Sweden before the United States ended up losing in the sense of just the first period. It was all the goals in the first. We couldn't believe it, but that's all it was. And again, I look at the roster construction today. You got Hagel, Cirelli, and Marner on the third line. You move guys around there for John Cooper. I think it just gives them so much more added depth. I know they're missing some pieces in the back end with Theodore and Morrissey, but you still got Harley, Doughty, Sanheim, Parayko, and Toews, Makar, who have already kind of shown some grit in this game. So you feel pretty good on both sides if you're Canada because you got the lead right now with 12:38.
Yeah, you do. Right now, the fourth line is out there. Sam Bennett wins this face-off. Toews clears it. It'll be scooped up by Morrissey across for Sanderson. Jake Sanderson for Morrissey. These two on the third pair. But Morrissey and then gets a lot of Norris Trophy votes, and USA takes this inside to the trailer. Morrissey at the right point. Down at the bottom of the circle, Morrissey, and a tie-up at the near corner between the Americans and Canadians. Jack Hughes trying to whack it away several times, and Canada will clear this one out. Crosby can't handle any further as Morrissey will take it back for the USA. The Americans now with this as Jack Hughes, out of his shift at the near side, deflected up by Reinhart, and Canada takes it away. Backhand around for Nate, and way offside was Sidney Crosby, and taking it back is USA. Jake Gensel, good stick there by Doughty to prevent that shot from getting on net. Thomas Harlow restart up for McDavid. Connor McDavid shut down by JT Miller, and Brayden Point was shoved too. Moved up for the near side for Faber. This is deflected up onto the far corner. Doughty there, along with Doughty. Around the boards. Near side for Faber. And backhanded to keep it was Slavin. Behind the net, Miller. Once again, a New York Ranger. Around this goes once more. Jack Eichel out there. One time for Faber. Well wide the net. And the far half for Slavin keeps it. Miller. Back for Faber at deep center point. Faber fires it, and Binnington got a piece. Canada looks to get this one out, and it was deflected up out of play.
Looking at it right now with just 11 minutes, shots are 4 apiece. Again, the chances don't seem too crazy here. They're showing Charlie McAvoy doing the introductions of the lineup there for Team USA, so that's got to fire them up a little bit as well. I think the chances here, at least on the defensive side, the United States got to feel good about that. They just got to continue to try to press and keep the chances limited, because it was a good back check there for Jack Hughes that we just saw off the poke check.
The poke check worked wonders for Jack Hughes, and going all the way to back check to defend Canada on the last possession defensively. Parayko up to the far boards. Adam Fox retrieves it once again for the Stars and Stripes. From the red line, sends it around to the near side. Binnington, who delivers for Sanheim. Charlie McAvoy with 5 hits. 2 against McDavid, 2 against Crosby. He's out today related to an infection on his injured shoulder, and he's out on a week-to-week basis per team officials with the Boston Bruins. That's what they noted. Canada looking to take this puck away as Seth Bennett is watching Adam Fox. Fox to the far side. USA had an intercept, and Canada takes it back inside. Bennett fires and is stopped by Hellebuck. To the far side, USA who's scooping up and corral this one down. Shooting this to lip in the ice from the red line. Binnington there, and will back into the far corner. Bennett lost this one for Jarvis, and Jarvis shoots this from the far side onto Hellebuck, who plays it out of his crease. Morrissey under duress. Marchand able to hold it, but right on cue was Sanderson to keep it inside for USA. Canada still wanting to hold this own. Chris Kreider opposite Brad Marchand. Natural rivals because it's an original 6 rivalry, and a deep shot was stopped by Hellebuck from the right point. Sanderson places for his teammate at the far side. Intercepted pass, and USA has a pair of giveaways over the last few minutes. You want to clean that up, as was attributed to the USA-Sweden game. For the right side, shot from the right circle, kicked out by Hellebuck. The rebound is looked in front. Scramble toward the net. Both teams fighting ferociously for the puck. And none other than the Commerce Township there to stop them all.
I'm not sure how Connor Hellebuck was able to track that, Alec. It was a funnel. It was a tornado right at the net. 4 or 5 rebounds. You had Seth Jarvis there in the mix with Nathan MacKinnon. He just stayed with that puck and able to hold on and get the whistle. My goodness.
Hellebuck wasn't in net. That would be a 2-0 Canada game. He's considered the best goalie in the world for a reason.
Couple of giveaways, Alec, as you talked about. That's what kind of turned the tide. First, it was Sam Bennett there for a shot that just missed, and another one right at center ice. Canada takes it up the gut. They fire it at the net, and Connor Hellebuck makes a big left pad save and gets the hold.
And another air kick save, well, this time on the right pad on Seth Jarvis, who was waiting to get that front. All alone there, and it was wacky at that puck every 2 seconds or 1 second or so. Get Ian on board here. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
I know Ian, we went around, we gave our predictions about what we thought we might see in this game. Do you have a score in mind? Do you have any final thoughts? Anything final for you as far as who do you think's going to win?
2-1 US. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. And 2 pucks are going to bounce our way. And Hellebuck isn't going to give up another one.
Ooh. That's a bold prediction, I think. 2-1, not the way they're playing right now. It's not going to be 2-1 US. they got to shore up that defense. There's too many giveaways.
Yeah, well,
Didn't they start slow the last time we played?
Every single time that they've played so far in the United States has given up the first goal.
Yep, that is the case. Still trying to get everything sorted out with ESPN for some. All right, so we have the colors of the CN Tower and the Empire State Building lit up in their nation's colors. Toronto has Canada's colors lit up, and New York City with the USA colors lit up at the CN Tower and Empire State Building, respectively. So that last sequence was one of the most chaotic that we have seen between these two. David MacKinnon with the only goal, but that Connor Hellebuck multiple save sequence was him at his very best. We know that is for sure. And Canada up 1-0 because of none other than David MacKinnon. 4 goals in tournament. That leads all players.
And I think, Alec, at least from that sequence that we just saw, we should say that Canada should be up 1-0 because they probably should have scored there. Maybe you can say Nathan MacKinnon's shot maybe should or shouldn't have gone in, but this score is right where it should be right now.
As in the meantime, we're getting the board's getting fixed because we have some electronics that need to be looked at. They're looking at ice officials saw that there's a loose piece of lumber as a result of something coming loose as a result of what happened in the last play.
Oh, from the boards.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. And this is what I love about international hockey. There's so much less stoppages compared to an NHL game. Even a best on best NHL tournament, there's less stoppages. And it's just a better quality product. I mean, some people will disagree with me on that, but
I will say this, Ian, on the side of Owen, excuse me, on the side of what you're talking about. Like this is an NHL sanctioned event, but I'm glad that it kind of is because if you go to a double IHF, I don't think we're going to have a situation where we might only get 2 or 3 penalty calls. Everything would be such by the book, and I don't think you can do that with these two teams. You got to let them play with a little bit of salt and vinegar.
Yeah, and in this game now, I hope we get overtime. I hope we get a 3 overtime game. I hope we get a repeat of that Bruins game from what was it, 2023, I believe. I believe it was Bruins Penguins, if I'm not wrong.
Well, are you talking about Bruins Panthers? Is it? You mean?
Yes, Bruins Panthers on a Saturday night. It went till past midnight and it started at 7 p.m. It was great. I hope we get one of those tonight.
Well, I don't know what it was, but here we go. 8-4. The shots in favor of Canada. They lead 1-0. And up, no, John. They have won all but one of the 9 faceoffs in this game. USA looked to strike back. This pass Binnington. He was trying to step in behind the net. And Austin Matthews got tangled up on the shot. But those faceoff numbers seem to be looming large here in favor of Canada. For all the depth that USA has down the middle, Canada also can win faceoffs and control them as well. Jack Eichel stopped, and this will be dumped down for the ice. Morrissey, the first one at the near corner. In pursuit is McDavid, fastest man on the ice. And USA gets denied on dump it, they'll get it right back to him. Jack Hughes. Carter Quinn watching from somewhere to be dumped as Binnington will lock behind for Toews. Through the far side, by intervention. Brayden point. Will initiate dump and chase. And we come back with a far half force. McDavid on the hold. Point will scoop it up and backhand to the right point. Makar finds Toews to go back for point. In front is Stone and went off his skate. Matthew Tkachuk back for the Americans. This is a 4-on-3. Morrissey. Brady Tkachuk got shut down. Here could be an odd-man rush. Carter McDavid will wait and will drop it to the trailer. And the shot bounced up and out. This will be kept in on the backhand. USA will keep it to themselves. Back for Canada. After the clear, Colton Parayko. What a nice toe drag by Mitch Marner. Marner holding at center point for Sanheim. Sanheim fires it. It's wide. And scooped up at the far half boards. Sent up for Dylan Larkin. Here he goes. Shot. Bennington turned away. Oh, and this time with guy Bennington. He stopped it. And at the right point, cycle for Fox. Johannesson, deep shot from that side. Was blocked in front of Brandon Hagel. Of Anthony Cirelli. Will drop it for Sanheim. Cirelli was stick lifted on the pass. And Doughty will scoop it up. Closest that USA's got to tie this game up. Oh, the heart attacks here are spiking up as it's icing.
I got to say this, Alec. I know you're a little bit ahead of me, and I mean this in the best way possible as a diehard Red Wings fan more than anything else. I love that Dylan Larkin's having such a great tournament. I love seeing his speed and everything else being showcased. But if he's your best player right now in the first period, United States needs to wake up because you got all these other top-end guys. It can't just be Dylan Larkin leading the way. And you're absolutely right with the 8-1 on the shot end because you have Larkin and Trocheck on your back end for draws who are the best in the business. You got to tie up or do something else to try to get the puck.
Stick with your guys on the faceoff.
Yeah.
Do something. Here, USA wins another faceoff, but it goes back for Canada. Shot for the right point goes wide. Rebound picked up by Bennett. Looks right in front as they go fighting for the puck. It'll be scooped up off the poke check by JT Miller. and USA will get it off the far side of the ice and send this one in. Canada will pick it up, and for the far corner is Doughty. Right across this goes for Harley. Just backhands it past Kreider. Bennett on a spinorama. You dump this one down. Canada battling for this puck with the USA. Marchand and Bennett both there. Bennett closing in. Shot right in front. Hellebuck is down. They both fight for the puck. Where is it? They'll say Hellebuck has it.
That was Sam Bennett cruising in toward the right side. Now he's having a communion here a little bit with the Zebras as they're talking about it, but he held a full sprawl toward the right to left post as Sam Bennett gets it. Now he drives, end up denied a couple of times, 3-4 times for Hellebuck as Canada just can't lift the puck.
You need that elevation. You need to tuck it onto your stick and elevate that puck. Go top shelf for once. Don't just settle for the lower side of the goals. You sometimes have to pick the corners.
And Connor Hellebuck, I think when we get that close-up camera shot, which was a great one, Alec, by the way, I think he's got to be talking to the referees and saying, hey, aren't you going to blow the whistle?
And yeah, he had it with him this entire time. He did. 34 wins, 206 GA, 925 save percentage, and 6 shutouts. He leads the NHL all categories, but here comes Canada right back. Right at point. Backhand forehand. But that was actually named MacKinnon. Jake Sanderson tangled him up. At body shot 21, there was 29. Loose right in front as Hellebuck was under siege again. But can he catch a break? As this one batted down, Sidney Crosby fighting for the puck. And as MacKinnon touches up, we have a whistle upon the handle.
We are going to go to a commercial break, it certainly looks like, Alec. But I want to say this in post-haste for Canada. All their entries look clean and they're easy. Right, left, wing side, racing up and down, getting in front of the net, getting traffic in front of Connor Hellebuck. They're doing a great job. This is an A-plus period for them. For the United States, right now, I know it's early, but I'm seeing a little bit too much dump and chase, Alec. Just trying to look for those breakout passes. I think it makes it a little bit too easy to defend right now against the United States. And at some point, whether they get to this first period only down 1-0, I think that would be a success for them because Connor Hellebuck's been brilliant. They're going to have to make some adjustments there as far as getting those puck entries, getting some chances in the zone.
What Mike Sullivan has to do at the first intermission, the adjustments, that factor is going to play a huge role down for the line. You remember, USA has trailed in each and every one of their Four Nations face-off games. This one is no different. Canada has led in all 4 of their Four Nations face-off games, but at times they had to survive some scares, like they did against Sweden, like they did against Finland. Who knows what's going to happen here, because anything can happen if Canada can have this under control. Because USA, from what we covered last game, the giveaways seem to be a problematic issue for the Stars and Stripes. So far, the official giveaway marker stands at 7 in this period alone for the USA.
That's already way too high to me. It's 7-2, Alec.
Yeah, 7 giveaways to start off this game. That needs to be mitigated after the first period, because if this keeps up, Canada's going to get this game.
Yeah, they are. And I will say one thing. I know I mentioned it a little bit for Jake Sanderson in that previous game against Sweden. I do have to give Jake Sanderson full marks on this. He was one-on-one with Nathan MacKinnon. He was able to poke check it a few times, able to get a stop on Nathan on a one-on-one. So good work there for Jake.
Good thinking there for Jake Sanderson. And he's been good ever since he slotted into the lineup for Team USA. And I know it may stomp, given that Quinn Hughes is not going to be traveling, was not traveling to Boston, given that he's not medically cleared. But if there was any other injury to Team USA's roster, the emergency replacement on the defensive core would have been Brett Pesce.
That would have been another one to think about. But honestly, Alec, if you got that red jersey there for Quinn Hughes and he's not ready to go, he's way too important for Vancouver to kind of do this for Four Nations as much as the United States would like to win it. I don't want to see an injured Quinn Hughes and then maybe something worse happens to him. He's too important.
Yeah, rest up that body. Long-term health is so important here. Back in this 5:47, Canada has been in the offensive zone for 3 minutes and 19 seconds. The Americans for 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Toews around for the far corners at the point. Can't get a second under the puck. The Americans keep this in. And howitzer immediately shut down by Jordan Binnington.
see if they can actually win a draw. Again, you talked about it. The United States have won the last three. It's now 8-4, but the giveaway is officially now 7-2. And a lot of them are unforced. Only one takeaway for Canada here, as Mike Sullivan, who's a great coach, has to go up against John Cooper. You know, he's made his adjustments.
Whereas John Cooper will be signed with the Tampa Bay Lightning and Sullivan will be signed with the Pittsburgh Penguins, two of the best coaches at their respective professions. And another shot gets turned away by Binnington. This one's cleared. Bounced up. Canada looking to get this one through, but Hellebuck plays it away from danger. At the near corner, USA will scoop it up, wanting to clear it out. Oh, there was a tug. We stay 5-on-5 for the moment. From the far force, Binnington will play this one out of his crease and onto the far corner. Seeing the danger posing onto the near side. Wrap around shot, and Binnington will grab a hold of it. Now the shot board is even at 8.
Well, hopefully, Alec, we do get a camera shot of what you just called there on the right side. I wasn't sure if it was the United States or Canada, but a severe hold that allowed the United States to get a long shot. We got a stoppage just over 5-minute mark of the first.
It looked to be holding the stick.
Yes.
Something like that.
That's usually a very common penalty, but I guess not here.
Yeah, the officials have largely swallowed up their whistles here. 5:02 to go here in the first period as Brayden point is tossed out, and coming in is McDavid, who usually takes the left side to face off dot. Point would take the right side to face off dot. Binnington onto his right. Canada grabs this one. They loft it away from the USA. Mark Stone sees this puck go to the Americans, but back to the Canadians to go. Thomas Harley up and over for a point, and Canada wants to dump this one through, but can't do it. In pursuit is McDavid, who will start back in his own zone. Doughty, Harley, near side, assistant deflected up near the penalty box doors. Jake Gensel backhands it away from McDavid. Harley's back in his own zone to retrieve. Looks Stone's direction. McDavid goes out for some change. Harley and Doughty both go out there. Off the near side course, this gets intercepted by Doughty. And the USA backhands it deep. Bennington will just hold on to this one.
Little baseball-style snag from 100 feet there for Jordan Binnington, as now he's got an opportunity to play the puck. Technically, that counts as a shot on goal, make it 9-9, as the United States now trying to force it in deep and get face-offs.
Our referees, Chris Rooney, Gord Dwyer, linesman Scott Cherry, and Johnny Murray for the Four Nations Championship game. Thomas Harley, his 4th season full-time with the Dallas Stars organization, wearing the jersey number 48. And given that number 55 is already taken, 48 it is, as this face-off exits his zone of the USA victory. Hellebuck will lead this up front. And starting from his own zone, I believe that is Morrissey. Can't get a clear jersey number, though. And then for the far side, this was erroneously played off the wall and iced.
Well, I like this here for John Cooper. Immediately you get that ice, you get your change. You're going to bring in that Nathan MacKinnon line, try to get a draw, quickly make this 2-0 before the first period.
For the first 4 best-on-best tournaments featuring these two teams ended with a Canada victory. The long time was a USA victory was the 1996 World Cup of Hockey. That was the only best-on-best tournament the Americans won in their program's history. Crosby was in help with McDavid. Shot the face-off gets blocked. Scrambler in front. MacKinnon. Baseball bats it out in the air. And it's held inside. Parayko can't go reach wide, and this could be a 2-on-2. JT Miller going inside. Not Doughty to his right. Doughty looks, waits, fires, blocked. It was off the leg. And Canada grab it. MacKinnon wanted to take it 1-on-2. Instead, we shoot this from the far side and dump it down. He'll go for his change. And smart thinking with John Cooper to immediately get the MacKinnon line onto the ice, off the icing. Disastrous USA sequence, and Binnington's out of his crease. USA keeps it dead. It's wide to net. Binnington was back on his crease, though. I didn't time the shot went wide, but that could have been very troublesome. Brock Baber shoved aside by Seth Jarvis. And we have a stoppage here. Arm is in the air.
Yeah, I think it was just play the high stick here, so we'll stay 5-on-5. I'm looking at this off the face-off now as Crosby wins it. Sanheim lets it go. The United States can't clear. You had Dylan Larkin there all tied up, and the mix was Sanderson on the back end, as you called. Jordan Binnington stumbles behind his own net as he goes to play it, and that slap shot, fortunate to go wide.
was the iconic Steve Dangle phrase, if you're a goaltender, tend to goal. Now this is 8 straight USA face-off victories. They got to translate that to goals. Wrap around the tap, and they score! Austin Matthews and Brady Tkachuk deliver. We're tied.
You talk about 8 straight face-off wins. They send it in deep. They go right in behind the net, right in the traffic of Binnington, and it looks like Brady Tkachuk is the first at the celebration line with Austin Matthews.
And this is why I wasn't worried at all.
That was a hand grenade, Alec, that went over the net. It just hopped over Jordan Binnington.
Yeah, hand grenade, which it was a bouncer to the left side of the net that went over Jordan Binnington's his blocker side. As Brady Tkachuk stepped onto the net front and immediately chopped it past Binnington right on the doorstep. We're all even up at 1. And this game is still up for grabs here. Third goal of the tournament. 21 goals this season with the Ottawa Senators. For Brady Tkachuk, as USA's back deep their dream. Sanderson fighting Morrissey. Morrissey right behind Hellebuck. Hellebuck off to the far side. Up front, this one deflected off the Four Nations face-off logo. Bounced off the back boards. Oh, dangerously close to Binnington. It's Doughty playing this one. Up to the far side. Taking this up front is Harley. And we have the offside.
That was a good version of a hit right at the blow line, Alec. That could have been a car crash there against the Canadians. Can you talk about 8 straight face-off wins? Brady Tkachuk, the first, is just the rat in front of the net with the cheese, just trying to get everything away. Little hand grenade goes above Jordan Binnington to tie it up at 1. And now all of a sudden, we talked about it about 5 minutes ago with Canada in the circles. Now Canada's going to need to start winning some draws.
17 hits for Brady Tkachuk for this tournament. That's a tournament leading stat for the Ottawa Senators captain. This one cleared out the center and scooped up by Canada. Who just need to get some momentum up. Where they face off wins, they've lost 7 straight. Sidney Crosby tried to take this one away. Some more poke checks. The puck was at the penalty box doors. Walked it down with the ice on the red line. Chasing after it is David MacKinnon. Nice shot. It's a sharp angle. And first one back is Larkin. The one up. Reinhart there in front. Rebound loose. Down goes Crosby. And it's cleared out. Devon will get it back for Canada. And a deep pass over to the Four Nations circle. Can't be a bunch of that. And Matt Bodie goes back with his puck. Backhander. They're not betting in anymore. Room to maneuver. And Canada shut down the far boards. This one passed through onto the far corner. Trocheck will stick this one away. For Fox. Rushing back his point. USA holding. At the right side, Kreider. Block shot. And this one exiting out. This could be dangerous. And Mark Stone, a diving play near the USA blue line. And Canada clears this one down. Hellebuck plays for the far corner for Sanderson. Deflected up several times, once, twice, bouncing puck. And this will be shot inside by Canada. One can't handle it. Trocheck could. And for the far side, Colton Parayko will scoop it up. Travis Sanheim, the feed. Up in front. And this is Point getting shut down. McDavid there as well. At the near corner. Point turned aside. Point hounded by 2 Americans. Finding the open McDavid. McDavid still pursues Slavin's there. Slavin moves it up. And USA could have a 3-on-2, but Brady Tkachuk will shoot this one down for the distance. Up there is Thomas Harley, who gets slammed to the board. And the American crowd here likes that. 45 seconds to go. And here is Brock Faber, moves it up. Deflected off of Woodbleed. And a shove here to Doughty from Jake Gensel. Going to get a number of that one last to last. And somebody moves the tie. That was one of the Americans. Marchand could advance it further. Now he could. And stick lifted by USA. Off the near boards. Jump once, twice. This one off of Canada. They'll regroup. USA. Gensel will send this backwards. 15 seconds. All even up at 1. Shots 10 apiece. Off the far boards. And moving up as this gets sent down through the distance. Jack Eichel tangled up like Devon Toews. As a scramble at the net. Blue step up to the ice to the far side. On no further damage. Jordan Binnington one last save. And that wraps up the first period. Oh, get in the fast lane, Grandma. The bingo game is ready to roll. 1 after 1.
Excellent work.
I might have been a bit premature sure with my score prediction. It's going to be more than 2-1. I still say U.S. wins, but it's about to be a dogfight.
I'm going to say this all honestly, Alec. Again, if all of our predictions hold true, and alongside Ian's the only one that took the United States, if it all holds true and alongside even with Owen, Brady Tkachuk might not win the MVP, considering if the United States don't win it, but he's already my MVP. What'd you say, 18 hits? He's already got a goal now. This is a man's game, and I know that he's playing with all sorts of injury and stuff like that, but my goodness, the last one he just laid reverberated the boards across TD Garden.
It's that big of a smashing hit for Brady Tkachuk.
So we come out of this first period, 1 goal apiece on goals by Nathan MacKinnon and Austin Matthews. Canada a plus 140 favorite currently to win this one for those who are into that kind of thing. What an amazing first period. I feel like it should be 2-1 Canada. I've said that already. I'm going to say it again. Great defense from the Canadian side. Great defense from Connor Hellebuck, who has single-handedly played defense pretty much for his team the entire period. And, you know, I mean, when you have a goalie like Hellebuck, you can do that. Most teams couldn't even imagine to keep up with the pace of play that Canada has thrown at them and not give up at least 3 goals.
This is going to come down to the wire if anything shows from the first, but you're absolutely right, Owen, in the mix of Connor Hellebuck. I mean, Alec called it. He had a hellacious first period on his shoulders. He did quite well with it. That was an excellent call by you, Alec, but 5 or 6 saves right at the inner slot, right on the doorstep, right in front of his breath he was able to make. If Canada could have lifted it, could have had 2 or 3 possibly if it wasn't for Connor Hellebuck.
If it wasn't for him, then this would be even more towards the favor of Canada. That's how much Connor Hellebuck means to the Americans, and by extension, the Winnipeg Jets, for how valuable he is.
Yeah, if he can play like this all the way through across the board, then you know exactly what you're getting. I mean, you have even a better defense behind you, and still he was being submerged by how good Canada can be. But I do want to say this on the offshoot, because I know that we talk about Austin Matthews, the 69 goals, the fever pitch that he is for center, able to do everything else. But my goodness, in this tournament, has he not been one of the better defensive players for the United States? He's been everywhere.
He has. We're going to be up or down the ice. He's been showcasing his defensive abilities. Suddenly, that defensive ability is being maximized under Craig Berube as head coach.
Yeah.
And Mitch Marner being the 1-2 punch with the top line of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
So I'm looking at it right now. Brock Faber, and I know that you'll like this, Alec. He's leading the United States as far as time on ice. 8 minutes and 15 seconds for the young man already. A little trial by fire, but you know he's used to it because he's been so good for the Minnesota Wild. And for Team Canada, this comes as no surprise. Devon Toews at 8:21. Cale Makar is second at 7:39. That was a good puncher's chance between both teams. I'm going to be excited to take over the second period. You guys talk amongst yourself for a moment. I'll be right back.
All right. So, following a formation face-off, I want your speculation, Alex. When do you think teams will start moving players?
That's anyone's guess, really. It could
Immediately.
It could be as soon as tomorrow, maybe even Saturday for what it's worth about teams moving players. Saturday's when the NHL season resumes, but we saw a minor transaction involving the Pittsburgh Penguins involving a minor league player. But when the NHL season resumes, we can imagine that teams will get active along the trade deadline front. Rob Nelson, I've heard, is going to be mentioned a lot.
And
Michael Bunting, realistically.
Here's why I say immediately. Because I don't think any serious moves are going to be made before the end of this tournament, because everyone saw what happened to Shea Theodore in the first 6 minutes of it. So I don't think they want to take any chances because they know the players aren't treating this like an all-star game as they shouldn't. So nothing big is going to happen until the final whistle of this game. Then I say everything is on the table. Once they have time maybe to gather any injuries that may be sustained over the next 40 minutes, then the real wheeling and dealing will begin, because that will put us exactly 2 weeks out from the trade deadline. And that's usually when things start, when talking at least starts happening. We might not see any deals announced over the weekend, but that's at least when talking usually starts happening. Serious talking.
That's how you see
Yeah. I was going to say, I can only speak for my team, but for the Blues, I mean, the names that are being thrown out are what you'd expect. Brayden, Shea, Pavel Buchnevich, and Jordan Kyrou. They're not going to deal any of the really young talent, but all three of those guys are, all three of those guys are up on the trade block.
And I did mention Makar for my pick, which was 3 years left after this season on his current deal. So basically, a reverse Jason Zucker situation for the Penguins. Except this time, Raquel is being the one traded out. We expect Brock Nelson for the Islanders and some other guys like Carson Soucy. I heard his name getting involved around. David Savard, Trent Frederick, pending UFAs who are on the trade block. Ryan Donato, pending UFA. Jake Evans, pending UFA. Nick Bukestad, pending UFA. Seth Jones said that he wants to win now, but the Blackhawks are not looking to trade him at any point. Besides, he has 5 years left on his current contract. Travis Ristolainen, I've heard, on the trading block. I know this has been a never-ending Gibson. We've heard this time again. It seems like a never-ending story.
They're never going to trade John Gibson.
And with my Leafs, there was rumors of some movement around Morgan Riley, but that was back when the whole JT Miller feud was going on. Of course, now he's been shipped off to Carolina, which, honestly, I think that's a better fit for him. It got him out of the sticky situation he was in Vancouver, and I don't think we needed it. I don't think we would have been the winners in that trade anyway, because we already have a solid forward line. So I really don't know if Toronto's going to make any serious move. I think they kind of might make like the Raptors and just kind of not do anything too serious. But we'll see.
And so, in terms of that, just run with the current core from here on out, basically, what you're saying, because they like where they're at, essentially. Only person I've really known from the Leafs that could be potentially on the trading block is Nick Robertson. And I'm not sure if Robertson's someone who the Leafs should trade away.
Yeah, I don't know who you're going to get for him, though. That's the problem.
He has 8 goals and 12 points throughout the season, but there have been reports that he's been disgruntled during his time in Toronto. So throwing him on the trade board could lead to a fresh start elsewhere. You got it.
There's, let's see, what else in mind? Actually, here's a question for you fellas. Who's the team that's gonna go Lakers and just go for the kill?
Well, speaking of them, Luke is not doing too well himself.
He is not.
No, but who's going to be the guy? Who's going to be the team that comes in and sweeps? Basically, it sweeps our legs out from under us, and we're all going to be, oh my God, what just happened?
Well, if you want the close comparison from how I can see things, the team that is going to just shock the entire hockey world with such a trade, well, I know some team. I really don't have an accurate comp for such. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's a lot harder. I don't know how some of these trade analysts do this. You know, how they're able to pick out who might get who.
It is a tough call. I know I'm just joining you gentlemen here, but it is a tough call there, Ian, because when you think about it, all these moves have to be made with the breakneck of the cap being right there. We know it's going to shoot up about $6 million per over the next 3 years, but a lot of these teams are already cap strapped.
Yeah, I mean, John, speaking on your Red Wings, I think, except for Red Box Leafs, who are leading their division, Red Box?
3 points out. They're in the second.
We're in second.
Okay, second. Well, John, you're a Red Wings. We've talked about this numerous times. They could go out and get something, but there's the risk of trading away draft capital and having it not work out, and then and then there's the whole thing. I think you talked about before that cap-wise are going to be able to do. The Leafs are going to be able to do things in the off-season, but as of right now, do the Leafs just stay put? Sorry, not Leafs. Wings. Do the Wings just stay put?
The Wings are going to have an extraordinary amount of cap space over the next few years, and I think from what they have right now, Patrick Kane is going to stay. I don't think he's going anywhere unless he wants to go back to Chicago, and the team's pretty good as it is. And again, as everything is staggered, I know I talk about this with Alec as well, and between guys like JT Compher, Kopp, in the mix of Hull, everything else in the back end, Sherrod, all those are staggered by 2 or 3 years. So a lot of that stuff's going to be coming off the books in time. It makes a lot of sense. So I don't think the Red Wings try to do too much. They don't need to. I like where they are right now, and I like the prospect pool and everything else. So they're fine. The one name I saw, and Alec, this is going to be hard to do anyway because he's got a big cap hit already, but Patrick Laine, why not try? I know it's like in the mix of the $8 million cap hit from the Jets side of it when it was signed alongside with Columbus, but he's a guy that you could put on a bottom 6 or even top 6 if you just need a scoring push. You're not going to get anything from it defensively, but he's still only going to be 27, 28 years old.
And so that's still on the young-ish side. It works.
Right.
You want to score and touch for him. So that can work for a team that's looking to contend now. If you want to add a scoring touch towards that middle 6 or top 6 side, that could work. I don't see him a lot of trade talks right now, but if Montreal isn't, but I feel that Montreal wants to keep him on their plans for the future, especially that power play.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's still a power play merchant. I'm just wondering if there is going to be any sort of buyout or any sort of disfavor there with Marchand St-Louis. I'm not saying I know anything, but we do know in the mix of the first couple of years for Patrick Laine in Winnipeg, Alec, I mean, he was almost a 50-goal scorer.
Almost. So, if you get that scoring touch back, that would be a big win for Montreal.
So we're like, 2 weeks away from the trade deadline for the NHL, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
You think by now, fellas, I think by now, in other deadlines, we've been able to figure out what kind of market the trade deadline is. I can't tell if this is buyers or sellers.
You look at it in between, at least for Winnipeg, right? They're the clear favorite probably in the West. I know I've been hit and miss there on Washington, and I have my bias, but I do think it's because Logan Thompson has been so fantastic. And I do credit Washington as a great organization, calling up a lot of Hershey Bears and being good there. But I think there are a lot of good teams right now in the NHL.
You mentioned about the call-ups from Hershey for Washington, like Connor McMichael was first as a high-end goal scorer of Washington. Even Frank, who at the time he was the fastest skater in the AHL, not only the AHL, but also in all of hockey with the sub 13-second time that he set at the AHL All-Star Challenge. Those are good calls that Washington can have down for the future.
Yeah, I mean, we're at about the, let's say the 2/3 mark of the season, give or take. I wouldn't count the Oilers out. Yeah, they're 9 points back of the Jets. And I guess if I'm saying that, you can't count the Stars out either, but I don't think they're comparable. I think the 1-2 what I will say, the 1-2 in the West will be Canadian, well, whoever it is, this time around. In the East, Washington is surprising everybody there, led by the legendary Alexander Ovechkin. And I mean, that one, it looks to be, if the season were to end today, a foregone conclusion as well, with Florida and Carolina sitting in back to them. Ottawa, an impressive 7th. That is not something I think a lot of us were expecting to see in the things right now. And of course, the Red Wings, who I really would like to see in the playoffs. They're a good young team. They've been building over the years, holding on to that 8th position right now, of course, before all the conference and before all the divisional BS. Surprising from Ottawa, maybe not so from Detroit.
Well, I will say this alongside Alec. I know we're going to get set for the start of the second. Alec and I had many conversations about Ottawa nonetheless, and it was short, but it was this. It's about time they make the playoffs. They really need to.
Yes, it's about time. Not only Detroit, but you say Ottawa as well, but Detroit especially. It's the moment that they have to take full advantage of. And while it may come at the expense of a team like Tampa or a team like Columbus, Detroit has been in a rebuilding phase for several years now. This is a phase of the rebuild in which they should make the playoffs. It's Steve Yzerman's job on the line, arguably.
That's what they're saying here, and thankfully with Tom McClellan, those have kind of quieted down a little bit, but I don't disagree with you, Alec. I think it would be a huge mistake to get rid of him, but I'm glad that it's improving, and I'm glad that we've gotten away from those sub-zero conversations as we get settled here for the second period. I know it's a little bit of a McDonough and Ferraro here, but it's 1-1. Again, it started the goal from a ridiculous shot from Nathan MacKinnon from the high slot that was in between 3 players, finds its way into the traffic on the front. Maybe even Sanderson possibly screened Connor Hellebuyck, and then Brady Tkachuk right at the net. Let me give you the time on these. It is 4:48 for Nathan MacKinnon, his 4th. He's been one of the best players in the tournament. Brady Tkachuk, his 3rd, with the 2nd assist from Austin Matthews. And for Brady, already a couple hits, a goal for him. He just continues to light it up any way that he can get it done. I'm going to get settled here for the second. I'll let Alec close in the third if he wants, but if he's gracious enough to hand it to me, if it's close, I might just have my heart in my throat the whole time. But let's get underway, as this goes right to left now for the USA. Stars and Stripes have the dark blue jerseys with the white and red, and this one is sent in for the Canadians that have the all-red jersey with the leaf on the front, on the black pants, and the mix of the white striping, as this shot will get deflected in amongst the traffic. And Brady now try to shovel this one in the corner, gain the red line, and send it in. Shots are officially 11-10 for the Canadians, as the score is tied at 1. First period was pretty close, and then the United States had about 7 face-off wins in a row, which ended up helping them get a tie game. But it was all Canadians early, so the United States had to kind of survive those first 10 minutes. You would think that they did, but here's another egregious giveaway, and this shot will get deflected in amongst the masses and played in off the backhand. Matt Boldy being a little nonchalant here as this goes in along the end boards toward the left side red line. Here would be a wrister attempt. This one will be pull balled away. Connor McDavid will give chase, smartly just serve it into the corner. Devon Toews will go ahead and send it on, trying to find McDavid. Good stick lift there for Brock Faber. He's been excellent in this game. He's leading on ice time. And now this is knocked away by Getzel in the corner. A series of cross checks. Getzel still not being called for anything. And now this is sent the other way. As the United States, I think they got away with one there. Faber couldn't get the clear he wanted. And here come the Canadians stick drag. This one is sent in deep, and now Brayden Point with the puck retrieval. And now for Brock. No penalties in the last 3 periods between the two, but I think that's more so of the Zebras than anything else, as this one gets sent in to the neutral zone. Away from Jack Eichel. He sticked a couple of times, and now the United States emerge with it as JT Miller tried to race in the corner. This will be knocked away from Doughty for a moment. This is a wholesale clear attempt for the Canadians and gloved out nicely in between the circles as it's Sam Reinhart, Florida Panther. Will send this one in as Connor Hellebuyck slows it in behind his crease. Got to be careful here. Jake Sanderson will go ahead and push this one ahead. It's turnover right across the middle, but Canada can't hold on to it. Here's a lead pass right in across center ice. Took the stick out of one of the hands of the United States. You just want a penalty call. They're not going to get one, but I think they will now. I think the United States are going to head to a power play here with 17:37 as JT Miller took a big spill.
Oh my goodness, that looked ugly and nasty the way JT Miller went down. He went sliding all the way across the ice. You could feel the impact onto the near side of the ice, feel like a car crash by the time he slid onto that side. And he lost his stick in doing so. He's being helped off the ice, and he's going to get looked at. And that's good news that he's getting helped off the ice, that he is skating up tack, and that while he is in some sort of pain after taking that hit, that doesn't feel like a good feeling at all. To get whacked onto the skates like that. See how he does? Yeah, he got high sticked, and he took that contact pretty well. Ouch.
Let me correct myself here. No penalty call. I'm very surprised that there wasn't. He got hit right in the face. And that was just as clear as day as this one now sitting across Brady Tkachuk. And he got hit hard. He fell right down on the left boards. Huge collision. His glove fell off and everything too. But no call. Again, it's going to take a heck of a lot in order to get any calls. This puck tried to get played in behind from Eichel to Binnington. He will hold on to it. But if you're not calling that, and I'm saying this as neutral as I can, you're not calling anything in this game.
Yeah, the officials really have swallowed up the whistles for the most part. I'm surprised that there was no penalty call for that high stick. But Jordan Binnington had to be alert because there was a stick right up front. He tried to deflect that one up to get a shot. Or I mean, the thinking is to try to get that one up and then probably luck their way to go off of Binnington's back, Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk. Well, Matthews and Matthew, not to get the tongue twisted, by the way.
Oh, there's a lot of it. You got two Tkachuks, you got Austin Matthews. Again, those big boys in the middle with Austin Matthews. If they can unlock Austin's offense here, that could be the difference because those guys are battering rams and they can do everything. It's just power forward style hockey, and they're very good at it. Now I'm toward the right side boards. This will be Brady Tkachuk and ahead now for Baldy. We'll send this one ahead as this will be picked up now for Getzel toward the right sideline. This will be shoveled out in front, easily intercepted by the Canadians as they'll try to take off from left to right in this period. This will be sent back down amongst the end boards. Here is a turnover right in front of Werenski. Another save for Connor Hellebuyck in tight. He made that look all too easy. As this goes to the right side, Stone set it up across. Off the deflection, that one just goes wide near the right side post. Hellebuyck wasn't even in the crease. And this will be sent back now for Cale Makar. Gets away from the stick lift. Look at that, one-handed, and then sends that one in. As this is picked up now here for Sanderson. Sanderson now getting some of that time there as Charlie McAvoy is not going to be playing for quite a while. That's a heck of a loss for the Boston Bruins. He's an excellent defenseman. Shot way wide. Intentional slap pass is deflected out of the air, and the United States will just send this one down and take a change. There's been a lot of that as far as the U.S. More dump and chase than anything else. The Canadians have just gotten easy entry after easy entry, and Connor Hellebuck's already got his pay grade. This eludes Brock Faber. Here's a rolling vulcanized rubber. He gets around Hagel, and now Faber will send this one the opposite end of the ice. It's deflected in through neutral and sent back in deep again. As Brock will send this around one more time for Jacob Slavin, one of the very best two-way that we have in the league. This one's set now for Binnington. We'll slow it down. 15:20 left to go in the second. John Under with you alongside Alec Nava, Ian Genji, and Owen Parkin. This is a good one here. It's 1-1. No goals yet in the second period. This one's shoveled right to the goal crease. The United States will handle it. Here is Jack Hughes. When are you going to see his offense perk up? Miller's pass across. He's already back out there. This one's sent in for Jack Hughes. Had to play this quickly. I don't know if JT is going to get to this in the corner. We'll just shovel it D to D. Shot from Hannafin. Play at the net. Here's a chance. What a save. Binnington looks behind him as this goes to the right side. Now shovel in the corner for Canada and sent up out of play. We'll see if this gets deflected. I think it will, so no penalties. But Binnington saw his life flash before his eyes. Keeps it 1-1.
What a stop by Jordan Binnington to keep the play alive. We see the first play that fell right behind Mark Stone, right in tight on Connor Hellebuyck. He tested him off the turnover. Devon Toews to Sidney Crosby, right after, not Sidney Crosby, I was talking about McDavid. He deflected that one. Then right in front of his very eyes, Jordan Binnington with a remarkable save going right right after the shot pass went all the way across. He keeps this game 1-1.
Back pass from Matthews. Tried to find Matthew Tkachuk. As this one goes to the left side, dot and chipped off the glass. U.S. try to chase for it. Here is a 2-on-1. United States have a couple back. Took 2 players to dispossess the Canadians of the puck. And now Devon Toews goes flying as Brady Tkachuk will slowly send this back around the embankment. Shot board is 14-10. They did not add any shots there for the United States off that last sequence. They're definitely missing a couple because those hit the net. As this one is sticked, and now Brady Tkachuk wants to get into it with Devon Toews. Got to be careful here. Now he's starting to throw some fists on Devon Toews. Devon Toews has been the irritant for Brady, and the refs will break it up.
Toews has heard an earful from Brady Tkachuk all through this game. So much so that the refs are not wanting to let these two go after it. These two, of course, know each other very well. Rivals naturally in terms of geography. The rivalry is only intensifying. Brady Tkachuk, he wants an earful. Not going to get it here.
I would have to say, in all earnest, Alec, if that fight was allowed to go, that would be advantage for Canada because you're taking one of the best players off the ice, and Brady Tkachuk for Team USA. So they catch a little bit of a break there as the refs are trying to keep this one tight to the vest, but that high stick against JT Miller was not called. We will do this draw again. We still sit at 14-13 of the second and a 1-1 game.
So do it over again. Mike Sullivan, of course, need the necessary adjustments for this game. I feel he's gotten the rhythm up for the Americans all the way up front.
Connor McDavid gets one more opportunity at this, as this one is one straight back. And now Canada fumbles it for a moment as Eichel tries to find it near the right side boards. And a second effort results in a clear as U.S. got to check back up on sides. Jordan Binnington had some tough work back in behind the net. It was bouncing a lot, that puck. It's picked up now for Getzel, and the U.S. is off sides with Boldy. I think it was just barely there. And now Getzel wants to push and shove with Thomas Harley. Getzel throwing a fist there against Stone, and now a push from Boldy against Mark Stone.
I was not expecting Jake Getzel to want to test these Canadians at all. He's a goal scorer, but him getting testy and physical at Canada was not on my bingo card at all. Well, he can move all right. Can he hit? That's why I had the questions about, but he doesn't really need to hit to be one of the best players in the NHL with his goal-scoring ability at the net front.
I want to say this, Alec, and I know I'm just not being nice with Jake Getzel. You got a chance to watch him a lot in Pittsburgh. And between Brady Tkachuk and Jake Getzel, two of the best players on Team USA through this tournament, would you say?
So he had 2 goals against Canada in this tournament. And so far for Getzel, you would say that he's having, so far, the best tournament that he's having in his career. 3 goals, I would believe, so far for him.
You have that mix in there alongside that Tampa line, and they're for Point, Hagel, Cirelli, and Getzel. So that was a huge signing for them as they picked him up from Carolina in the offseason.
Yeah, very huge, especially after losing Steven Stamkos, which still stings, but Tampa showed that even for there being short-term pain, there should be long-term success that comes from signing your guy. That he's younger, and he's younger in a sense that could be fitting into the lineup on a longer-term basis.
Oh, speaking of the team Stamkos went to,
It's an absolute shocker, and Ian, and I mean, as you think about it, Alec and I talked about it in the beginning, and I wanted to say this before the season started. I think Nashville was probably considered to be a point-blank playoff team. Well, that never happened.
Reality is often disappointing and is stranger than fiction.
Yeah, people were high on the Predators coming into the season, and it never really panned out for them.
Myself included.
Yeah, I mean, all of us kind of said the same thing. You had Stamkos, Brady, Shea, Marchand. Again, those guys get another year older. Brady Trotz says he wants to kind of change some things in the offseason. I think that's going to be really hard to do, and we'll have to figure that one out. But at least all those guys, they're getting a break, and you're going to need to kind of figure that out once the season starts back up again in a couple days. Sullivan now getting the interview from Emily Kaplan, who does an excellent job at ESPN. There's not many anymore that do, and she's one of the ones that does the best. 5 goals, 1 assist, 25 shots, and 22 hits for the Tkachuk brothers. Again, hockey not for the faint of heart. That is really an embodiment of Team USA, Alec.
And the happiest man right now is the dad in the building, Keith Tkachuk.
13:45 again in the World Cup of Hockey. He was the last one to have a hat trick, and his sons not too shabby here. Connor Hellebuck, be careful back in behind the net, as this is a good forecheck on the side of that first line. You got Connor McDavid out there, and now United States will pin this one in off the boards. This is iced against the Americans at 13:26.
The ESPN board showed something about NHL trading cards. Stop making me want to get some already. You're making me want to get a Sidney Crosby trading card. Well, Canada will want to get a Sidney Crosby trading card if they do win this World Cup. Well, 4 Nations, I mean.
They're speaking to the right audience, Alec. I agree with you. I can always do with trading cards and everything. It's been a while since I collected, since I was a youngin'. And this one now sent into the cord for the United States as they will pick this up off the right side boards. Here is Slavin now with Eichel. I'll just pin this against the wall. And this is still contested here. Reinhart will watch this go around the end boards. And now Faber try to chip it out. And the U.S. off the stick lift. There was Crosby for a moment. United States will at least escape through center. And this will be picked back off now. Cale Makar will start this one again. No goals to speak of in the second period, but it's still in the mix of Nathan MacKinnon and Brady Tkachuk. That's what you had in the first. This is off the tip. Dangerous toward the net. A little diving shot block there for the U.S. for Jacob Slavin. As Austin Matthews gets this the other way for Boldy. He's got Tkachuk with him. Boldy will just take his change. Brady a little inside out, little stick hook there. Shots this period in attempts are 9-2 Canada. Here's a chance for Renski. This one tip. Matthews! Cross pass, trying to find Tkachuk. They score!
Jake Sanderson in the spot. Right in front of a hot shot. USA have the lead at front. But now they're looking to be a little hectic right behind out of the entry. But once they found on the front, Freebird started playing.
Well,
there was very little that could have been done by the Canadian defense on that one, I think, unfortunately.
So, what was that about Jake Sanderson? Just
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah, I know. I said that a little bit earlier, Ian. It was Sanderson's shot at the point that got it started. If you want to have this young man for the Ottawa Senators play his best game, he got a chance to get his first pick against Sweden the other day. This is the biggest game of his life right now. He's going to get a secondary assist.
Indeed. He said it best. His biggest game of his life. And USA and Canada in the biggest game of the year in the NHL. USA capitalizes on several net front chances. Matthews, Brady Tkachuk, and Sanderson.
Yeah, Sanderson. Yeah, Sanderson's going to get the goal. My correction there was a shot from the point. It wasn't tipped. Sanderson's got it. The U.S. take the lead. Still tons of time in this. We're not even halfway through regulation yet. And my apologies if I get a little more fever pitch on one side or the other. I will call the game neutral, but the actual excitement might not be as neutral because we know how big this is. We've called Stanley Cup Finals
we
games.
love it, bro. I'll just counterbalance you on the other end. It's okay.
Yeah, no, we've called Stanley Cup Final games and all that. And I'm just going to say this in all honesty. This feels like that. I mean, we wanted to see this rematch as this one goes toward the right side now. Stick up into the air, right at center, and the U.S. will send it in. Jake Sanderson with the latest goals. Trocheck will go ahead and push this one into the boards. Matthew Tkachuk forces the steal. There's now a big tie-up in the mix of Trocheck. He's going to get a tripping penalty through the stick right after getting pushed. That was needless. And Canada goes to the power play. That's a horrible play for Trocheck.
I mean, you know that the officials are not going to call anything unless it is something egregious enough. But what Trocheck did, that was egregious. That was obvious right in front of the referees, and that was needless to say. He felt a little motion as he reached out. The puck wasn't in reach. The puck was way too far to be controlled around, and Trocheck decided to trip that up. That's not even needed. That's not even needed.
No, you don't take those penalties there in your own D zone. That is an absolutely boneheaded penalty, and it's going to be a wide open door here for Canada on their top power play line. So you got McDavid.
There you go.
Yeah, no, you have to say it the way it is. We're not going to lie to you. As this one sent the other way for Makar, and now Makar will start this one off the back pass. Again, you can have McDavid enter or do whatever you want. McDavid with speed chips it off the boards to himself. Backing around the horn now as it's Sam Reinhart near the right side. Reinhart off the drop for McDavid. Here's Cale Makar. This has been a gift for Team Canada from the Trocheck penalty. We'll see what they get. Makar, MacKinnon, shot. This will be a glove save and then up and out of play. It'll be an offensive zone draw for Canada. 127 on their power play.
It's the 8th time that USA's been shorthanded. They've killed all 7 of their previous penalties before. And there's a team that can score on this USA penalty.
Yes.
You would think that it will be Canada scoring on the man advantage. They have the talent to do so. They have the personnel to do so. See the logic with deep shot from Cale Makar. You would want, ideally, a redirect in front of the net.
Chance out in front. This gets partially blocked off of Canada. Makar retrieves. There's a broken stick shaft. It's one of the United States. Brady Tkachuk does not have a stick, and they're already down a man. Toward the right side now. Catches to the right side to the dot. Here's a pass across for McDavid. This is swept out of the way, a little curling style for the U.S. This will be now halfway done with the second. Brady Tkachuk be able to get a stick to get a change. Cale Makar can start this one from 200 feet. Power play down to 55 seconds. Then Canada really needs a goal here. Here's McDavid. He gets around 3 players. Off the drop, Makar gets pushed down. Now it's Nathan MacKinnon. He opened the scoring. Now to Cale Makar. MacKinnon, right side, shoots. Stopped by Ellenbach. Big rebound to the left side post. And this is picked up by Canada back behind the net. Here is MacKinnon. Thought about it. Leaves for Cale. 30 seconds left in the power play. Pass across near the left side red line. It's Reinhart. Reinhart surveys. Cross pass. Makar. Good puck possession for Canada. McDavid stick lifted. And the U.S. on the edge of their shift. It's Miller. Cross. Shot saved by Binnington off short end, a 2-on-1. This is now toward the right side. Turnaround chance. Binnington looks behind him and hits the post and goes on a play, Alec.
Unreal in this championship game. We talk about what the question is with him and before this game about how he's going to do in terms of goaltending quality. He's playing his best hockey of his life in 2025. After clearing USA getting the 2-on-1, JT Miller out of his shift delivers one, and Binnington goes all the way across and makes one stop. Then on the second one, hugs the right post and keeps this a 2-1 game.
That was Dylan Larkin with another chance. He's been so good in this game. On the edge of his shift there alongside Miller. U.S. kills the penalty. They almost score if not for Jordan Binnington. They return to full strength. The shot board is 15-15. And my goodness, United States had to be holding their breath because that penalty from Vinny Trocheck was awful as this one goes into the corner, iced against U.S.
No deflection. And so Canada will get an offensive zone face-up. And even though it's not a power play anymore, they could still tie this one up at 2. Nothing's over until the clock reaches 000. 15 shots apiece, evenly balanced match.
I don't need to be a clairvoyant to say this, but I wanted to say in the beginning, if Canada was going to win this game, they would need their best efforts from Jordan Binnington. I know he's given up 2. Honestly, you can make the argument he could give up 3 or 4. It's the same thing for Connor Hellebuyck. Both of these offense have been primo in this game, if not for the goaltending. Jake Sanderson, a goal and 3 block shots in about 8:55 of ice time as we get a D-zone draw for the Stars and Stripes. Brayden Point can't win this off the tie-up in the United States. This one bounced off Harley. Brady Tkachuk now with his brother Matthew. Here's a shot. This one will be held up by Binnington. We will get some pushing and shoving as Brady Tkachuk is in the midst of it again. No surprise.
Of course, when you have these two onto the ice, you would expect the Bash brothers to come to full effect. We almost had that one here. And Brady Tkachuk, of course, he wants all the smoke. It would make a lot of sense naming Tkachuk being team MVP for Team USA. And there is a logical reasoning behind it as such. Connor Hellebuyck has been on a tear so far in the Four Nations face-off. You know who's also been on a tear? Jacob Slavin with masterful shot blocks and pass blocks on his own defensive end and helping to set up USA's offense from his own end. He can create.
Yeah, huge penalty kill on the other side. You said it best. And alongside, when you think about the Kachuk brothers, we all saw the movie Slapshot, did we not? I mean, they're the Hanson brothers reincarnated.
Yeah, we're seeing that right in front of us.
So this game has been absolutely masterful. Again, the first period was full of excitement alongside Alec. I've gotten my hands full in this second period. We'll split up in the third. Jake Sanderson with his first of the tournament in his second game from Matthews, who's got his second point, and Renski. Hellebuck 15 of 16. Jordan Binnington 14 of 16. They shot board. Again, we already relayed that. Just one ahead for the U.S. 16-15 hits, 18-14 U.S. Face-offs a lot closer to even than it started. 17-14 for Canada. The one power play, they did not score on it. They looked dangerous. Block shots 10-8 U.S. Takeaways 4-3 Canada. And the giveaways now starting to be a little more even as the U.S. have pushed back. They still lead in that category, which you don't want to lead in giveaways, 12-9. But it seems to have been toned down a little bit for the Stars and Stripes because they gave away the puck a lot first period.
I think the Kachuk brothers are them and the Sedin twins are the two pairs that I feel like they could go back to the 70s Phillies teams and
Yes.
be perfectly in tune with the mindset of the Broad Street Bullies.
Well said, Ian. You nailed it. Absolutely 100% bullseye.
You see Mike Sullivan pre-game as he hypes his team up, and you got to wonder, whatever was said in the locker room for Team USA before that second period, it is working. The message is getting out. The USA playing on their hard-nosed forechecking style, the in-your-face style that's worked in the first two games of this tournament. Giveaways being minimized so far, and that's a good thing to know.
It's going to need to continue, Alec. Again, alongside with Owen and Ian, we know this. It's going to take 100% for both of these teams, maybe more, if you have whatever else left in the tank. I know you couldn't get more than 100%, but if there's ever a time to do so, it would be this game in the rematch. Again, we talk about rematches and movie sequels and things like that. Sometimes they aren't as good as the original, but this one is just as good right now. Austin Matthews, 2 assists, 1 shot, 7:22 of ice. Find an entry now. Marchand's shot misses. Everything goes up and out of play. 8-11 in the second. And now Marchand getting tied up with Matthews. And I don't mind to see that a little Toronto-Boston.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it either. Those rivalries run deep as far as the original 6 go by. And even when you insert Detroit into the mix with Dylan Larkin, of course, that's going to be added fuel onto the fire for this. I thought the shot hit a stick as Austin Matthews was getting, not Austin Matthews, Brad Marchand was getting that one up.
I totally wasn't screaming fight while I was muted. It totally wasn't happening at all.
Hey, I mean, I'll say this honestly. I know you're a Canadian, born and bred through and through, Owen, and you want them to win. But even if Brad Marchand was American, I'd have a hard time rooting for him. Brad's just not one of those guys I like unless he's on your team, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta put that hatred aside when he's on your team. It's just like Dragic in the NBA. You gotta put it aside when he's on your team.
He's a rat.
He is.
Be a rat.
He's the best in the business when it comes to it. He's been doing it for a long time. That's why he's the beast captain. Good reverse hit amongst the corner now. Reinhart now off a dangerous cross pass. This goes in the high slot. Now Toews. MacKinnon shoots. Gigantic rebound. And the United States will brush it away somehow. I think that was Sanderson. Here's a chance that bounces off. As this is picked up now off the rush. And now Hughes will go ahead and give chase. That was just a gigantic rebound. And then offsides the other way was Stone. He was trying to score in a one-on-one off Hellebuck. He was a stride and a half off.
I'm wondering how this game is not tied for power. Canada had a huge rebound to capitalize on with Sidney Crosby right down the slot. But guess who was right there to sweep the rebound away? None other than Jacob Slavin. The best defensive defenseman in the business gets things done again and slipping away an opportunity for Sidney Crosby. He leads NHL defenseman in deflections causing turnovers. And that one is another reason why he's the best defensive defenseman in the league.
Perfect analysis, Alec. I'm glad to have you here on board because you're absolutely right. That was against none other than Sidney Crosby off a one-on-one. That rebound for Connor Hellebuyck, I don't care. You would have had to have three of them in the net to try to save that one, but Slavin just saved a goal.
He did. If he doesn't sweep that one away, we're tied at 2 because of Sidney Crosby creating havoc at the front of the net. But it's still 2-1 USA because of Slavin.
7:25 left to go in this middle frame. Brady Tkachuk's going to take this draw, and this one will now send the other way as this is picked back up now for the United States. This one will shovel in the corner, and it'll be iced again. This is the third time they've done so in the period as Thomas Harley gets the hybrid ice.
Have to be careful because soon enough, if you're not careful with these icings, then it can bite. And Canada, with the talent, they can strike. And of course, Zach Werenski with a deep shot in which Jordan Binnington turned away on the first glance. But we're looking back at the second goal for USA. As Austin Matthews and Brady Tkachuk were busy at the front of the net, Jake Sanderson rushes to the puck that comes to him at the slot and banks this in.
I mean, Jake Sanderson had to be a psychic on that goal. Al, how did he even know to get in that position that it was going to be there for him? That's crazy.
That was the first goal by a USA defenseman, all tournament long. To come to think of it.
Baldy, this one be flipped in toward now for Eichel. Eichel on his backhand. Big hit against Baldy again. No penalty called. I'm not going to mind it there, but again, whistles have been swallowed. Jake Sanderson now off the tie. Another good stick deflection for Jake. He's had a whale of a game. This is a much different turnaround against that game from Sweden. 42 assists this season for Werenski. Find the entry now off the drop, and the U.S. just cough it right up. As Brayden Point can turn on the burners. He's got a ton of speed. He finds the entry off the drop. One more touch. This goes away from Devon Toews and then knocked away from the Canadians. And toward center ice. U.S. try to send this one in. This is a pinch against the right side boards as Hagel try to find it in between Brady Tkachuk, and Brady Tkachuk will watch this one go to Cale Makar, but it's picked off and toward the right side boards. 6:10 thereabouts left to go in the second. John Andre with you alongside Alec Nava, Ian Genji, and Owen Parkin. It's a 2-1 lead for the United States. Jake Sanderson with the latest, the only of the second. But Canada can tie it up right now. Here's a chance toward the right side. Scores! Right in off the rush, and it's 2-2.
You saw the future, didn't you,
I
John?
did.
You saw that. Here we go. 10 seconds later, just like that, it's 2-2. The first time all tournament long in which Connor Hellebuyck has given up 2 goals in a game. And so we're back to square one. Off the takeaway from Sam Bennett, who generated that. He and Mitch Marner both entered the zone. Marner finds Bennett, and Bennett elevates that one. Canada took your advice about elevating the puck when Hellebuyck made that barrage of saves in the first period. And Bennett, he made sure of that. He picks the top corner, and we're all squared up at 2.
Why did Sam Bennett ever get scratched in any of these games? That's a clinical finish. Beautiful shot on the rush over the shoulder. You can't do that any better.
Best executed corner goal so far.
Yeah, no, what's up with these Florida Panthers? We know all about them in the mix of the Tkachuks, the Bennetts, Reinhart, all the way across the board. Sam Bennett ties it up right in off the rush. Just a perfect shot, short side over the shoulder. And we are level again. If this game is destined to go down on the wire, sign me up. We get a stoppage, 5:51 in the second.
And even if it means I have to leave at 4 in the morning to check out with my flights, if I have to sacrifice some time so as to get this down to the wire game out of the way, I doubt this goes past the first overtime. Because I would not survive a double overtime game, you feel me? But
you're going to have to sleep on the plane, Alec.
Sign me up.
You're going to have to sleep on the plane, my friend. Did they already say that the final game goes in continuous overtime?
Yeah, they said it goes continuous overtime until we have a winner.
Okay. All right. I think that's the way that it should be in all ways for these championship games. Jake Sanderson with this first from Matthews and Werenski. Sam Bennett from Mitch Marner. 14 minutes. That was a beautiful pass ahead. Bennett able to shoot that one short side over the shoulder. Again, 2 for Hellebuck, which is what I definitely called. And now the shots are 16 out of 18 for both the netminders. And Alec, I'm going to go ahead and say it now. I think you're going to get the definitive goal call here in the third. I think this second period is going to stay tied.
Yeah, I think so too. Even if one in both periods. If this goes into the third period, we may have just one goal in this tournament. If it's US, it's so tight that I can't even tell who's going to score the next goal. That's how evenly matched both USA and Canada are. They're playing their best hockey at the best stage in the sport.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything that can be said in between these two as far as I know what rooting interests are aside. I get that. But as far as the tail of the tape, the puncher's chance between both, I mean, this is a coin flip game right now. It's been back and forth action between both periods. We've had some excellent calls in between. I'm glad that all of you guys could join in the mix of the X space on the side of Twitch, YouTube, all of that. It's been a lot of fun. Things have been bumping. I know that a lot of you guys on the side, I said, who wins today? It was a coin flip essentially. Got 2-1 as far as Canada and the United States, but this is going either way. And again, I'm looking at that pass, and alongside Mitch Marner, just leaves it up there for Bennett to roof it in tight. And you can't even say missed assignment about that. That's just a beautiful shot there for Bennett as we're going to get set to get underway. Go ahead.
Yeah, and a beautiful pass from Marner nonetheless. He saw the lane, opened things up for Bennett. You had to get the spacing all the way.
Yeah.
That's the concept, spacing. Marner opened up the space and find Bennett to have that free space on that left side.
Yeah, and a lot of those goals for Canada have been really creative within the two that they have with MacKinnon now with Bennett. Here's a shot. This one goes intentionally off the boards. And now the question is, can the United States give up a third goal and still win this game? That's the one thing with Hellebuck. They've already answered twice. Here's MacKinnon. Another shot saved as Slavin will try to brush this one into the corner. Nathan MacKinnon, again, I've made no bones about it. He's been the best player in the tournament here for Canada, and Sidney Crosby has done his best job as the assist man. But MacKinnon, we saw that in the overtime against Sweden. We just had so many shots for him in a row, and we'll see how much that continues as we're almost at the 5-minute marker of this second. Shots are dead even at 18, and so is the score at 2 apiece. As this one knocked away from Boldy. Stick chop, step up. It's a bad step up for the U.S., but oh my goodness, that pass goes wide. Connor McDavid went out a breakaway against Hellebuck.
Yeah, open space to the right side of the ice should that pass have gone to him. I think it was a little too ahead of the puck. It was just a wrong place there, but right time, just the wrong place for McDavid. Or maybe just a wrong direction for whoever was passing that puck to McDavid. He had all sorts of space to the right side of the ice. If you can imagine that he would do something fancy to get and do anything to get Canada the lead.
So we'll take this draw again. Eichel's going to stay in. Brayden Point's going to move out in favor of McDavid. One more of those would be a penalty. We usually don't see 2 brush outs at the same time. McDavid will win it clean as Canada will gain the left side red line and send it in. It bounces off a Sanderson's stick, and under pressure, he makes the pass toward the right side boards as United States can try to go right to left. Again, they have to answer now from the latest goal from Sam Bennett as this one is put in the corner. It's still 2-2 in anyone's contest, but this next goal may very well be the game winner as this goes toward the right side boards off an outstretched pass. This will go to Binnington, so no icing. Binnington's going to have to hold.
Jack Eichel came in with a bunch of speed right up front, and he was searching for a goal to get USA back to the lead. One misstep, and that's at the back of the net. So smart thinking from Binnington, because he had a bunch of time to get that one towards the left or right. But once Eichel was speeding up down for the lane, time ran out.
Yeah, I feel like even as we watched that one in slow motion now, like Binnington had about 12 seconds to figure out what he wanted to do, and then Eichel was there enough. He just said, I'm going to hold on to this. This is a big draw for the U.S. If they can win this off the tie-up, they will. Hughes taken down, no call. And now we have opportunity off a 3-on-2 for Canada. Wrist shot, this one blocked. That one very much could have been a penalty, as this one now sent the other way, as McDavid will send this one back down for Binnington. Fever pitches speed for Hughes. This will drop this one back and around for JT Miller. Hughes now toward the right side boards. This will get knocked away. And toward the left side blowout and a tackle against Hughes. Players are rolling all over themselves. McDavid just trying to take a change. As it's 3:50 left in the second, there'll be an icing against the Americans. I think they're going to have a grievance about it, but it's not going to matter.
Oh my goodness, this is all unfolding into full chaos. The fact that we had 2 penalties that were not called here, and we didn't even get the official words, just speaks to how much the referees just letting the boys play. But sometimes you have to wonder if these penalties are too egregious enough to have a penalty be warranted. Makar is getting checked at by the medical staff at the Team USA benches. He's played a total of 624. I wonder if that injury that he suffered against Canada is bothering him.
You have to imagine in between him and Brady, Austin Matthews, a host of Canadians, as one little swing and a miss. And alongside for Mitch Marner, trying to hit that one out of the face-up out of the air. And now back check. Hanifin will be the last one back. He gets the pass toward the left side blue line, and Hanifin will just chip it into the corner. 3:30 left to go in the second. Still 2-2. The latest one from Bennett puts the Canadians back in a tie. It's Colton Parayko right up the gut. This one picked off. Jacob Slavin already back out there. Slavin's pass ahead. This one now watch for Matthew Tkachuk a little gingerly as this one goes to the right side corner. And now the United States off the flip, trying to find this right at the Four Nations logo right at center ice. This goes to the right side boards. Big hit by Tkachuk there. As now it's Slavin will send this one across. Matthews off the drop as this goes toward the right side wall. Sent back now, bounce in off of Matthews, and another hit the other way. Canadians try to rush up a 2-on-1, but this is just pinball wizard all over the place. Kreider gets hit and tied up with Marchand as we get a whistle.
Oh, I love when the hitting intensifies. Chris Kreider, Dylan Larkin in the middle of hits. On one end, you have Colton Parayko battling for the puck, and Seth Jarvis gets steamrolled by Chris Kreider. Oh, that felt like a car crash from upstairs upon the impact of that hit.
That wasn't quite the McDavid McAvoy hit, but that was pretty damn close, Alec. That was a big one.
Yes, it was.
Now toward the right side, Larkin trying to win this off the tie-up. He does, as the U.S. start with puck possession right to the neutral zone. Find the entry now as Brady Tkachuk will give chase. Brady Tkachuk with a big hit on Doughty! As this goes to the right side. Werenski now. This will be chipped ahead and stolen. U.S. got to get back on side. This will be shoveled in the corner. Brady Tkachuk says, how do you do? And now Harley will go ahead and find it off the spin. Harley still dancing with this puck and off the back pass lead for Drew. LA King will send this one ahead, and Canadians will brush this off the stick of Hellebuyck. This gets shoveled in the corner. Getzel couldn't play it clean, and this now be pushed the other way. 19 hits for Brady Tkachuk. This is a dangerous feed. It's slow, and now Hellebuyck will brush it away in the corner. Reinhart picks it up. As Canadians have possession, high slot, pass across, Cale Makar, back pass. Now to the right side, here's a cross-ice feed. Cale Makar plays it in off the window. Now on his backhand, one-handed shovel. And Cale Makar is still dancing. What takes Getzel to take it away on a third effort. The U.S. might as well take some changes as Devon Toews will start this one again. But Cale Makar, just to see him back on the ice, can be a showcase at any time. Hellebuyck. And off the left side glass, U.S. try to go right to left. Here's Jacob Slavin. Will be a soft chip in the left corner. There'll be Reinhart now. Try to find this back in mind. He's getting profiled with 31 last season, 57 the year before. As this will be picked up here for Reinhart. This will be a shovel pass. He gets blasted. McDavid inside out. 5-hole save for Hellebuyck. My goodness with some of these hits. And now McDavid will watch this one go in the corner now as the U.S. will try to get this one out. And here's a rolling puck the other way. 1 minute left to go in the second. We're all going to need some ice bags. Shot period is 19-19 all the way across on the board. It's still 2-2. This will be shoveled in the left side boards. Now Slavin will have to try to get this one out. Here is a spin now for Mark Stone on the Vegas Golden Knights. Good stick shot for Brady Tkachuk. Here is Larkin. Lead for Brady. Shot. This one is saved by Binnington up and on a play.
What we're seeing from both the USA and Canada is their contrasting styles of play. USA with the more physical, in-your-face style of play, as emphasized with Brady Tkachuk's vicious hit on Drew Doughty immediately after Chris Kreider had a little how do you do. Then immediately after, you have McDavid through 2 defenders, especially the best defenseman, making him look like a fool. Jacob Slavin as he toe-dragged his way towards the slot and tested Connor Hellebuck. A good showing from both these teams and what they can do at their very best.
This is some of the very best hockey that we've ever seen. And again, we've covered Stanley Cup Finals out. We got a lot of fun with it. But the skill level we've seen from both, the physicality, everything on the line, sign me up for more of this. Now to the right side. Here's a face-off win. High slot Matthews. This is pinballed away. And now 30 seconds left. Cirelli tried to chip this one in the corner. Matthews is there. And off the stick left. Brady Tkachuk still out there. 25 seconds left. Shot goes just wide of the right post. That was awfully close. Now Cirelli trying to find this toward the left side red line. D it goes. Here is Toews. Good inside out move. And the mix is it's Makar now with Toews. Makar still dancing. I'll drop this one toward the right side. Dot shot deflected and off the boards. It's Cale Makar. Down to 2 seconds. This one's sent toward the net, and that's how we end the second. It's 2-2.
Oh, and Canada will have a lot of chaotic sequences to end this up. We might not be done. And Mitch Marner is like no further between him and Brady Tkachuk. He wanted to play it safe, and as such, they wanted, and that's how Marner wanted to play it safe, and to make sure he doesn't get it over his head. But Canada, in the third period, this is where they need to step it up. Their goal differential for the third period, -5. USA, on the other hand, and by contrast, +5. So this is where who steps up the most in terms of play in the third period, who shows up, and who can stand out and be the face of it all when it matters the most.
And I'm calling it right here. I think we see a game that goes to overtime. I want to see it. We haven't seen it. We saw it once this tournament with Sweden, Finland, which just the quality of play. I think that's been my favorite game this entire tournament. Controversial, I know, but man, Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. I love the pin tweet. There, Ian. That's hilarious. As a Leafs fan, I love that.
That's rough. Again, I feel bad for them as far as some of the criticism that they take, but sometimes that's the way it goes. But they've been good in this tournament. Again, you can talk about overtime as well for Canada, Sweden, right in the open. Again, Alec, we covered that one. Sidney Crosby for Mitch Marner with the game-winning assist and goal. That one was good. This one's only going to take the cake just because of what's on the line, but he said it best. In the mix of it, just one shot, the difference in between both teams. But now the shots on goal is even. The score is even. The only thing that's not even is the hits. I don't even know how these two teams can stand after that last set of 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know either. We're going to need a lot of ice baths to prepare for this third period, especially for Canada's side, because they got hit and banged and bruised up a lot to end off that second period. And Chris Kreider and Brady Tkachuk, of course, they're going to stand out a lot for Team USA highlights. Get the ice bags ready. You have one more period to go after this one. And international play, of course, is bringing the best out of these two teams. And I would love to see more such in international play.
So let me give you the reset one more time, and you guys can take this whatever direction you want. But for those that are joining in, shot board is even at 19. Hits are 23-15 for the Stars and Stripes. Face-offs, heck of a lot closer to even than it was because Canada was dominating that one 8-1 early. It's 23-20 for the Canadians there. Just the one power play opportunity after the Vinny Trocheck. Very poor penalty, just throwing the stick and behind his own net. But Canada goes 0 for 1, and that's all we've had there. Block shots, 14-11 U.S. Penalty minutes, again, just the one. The giveaways are 15-10 for the U.S. Don't want to lead there. Takeaways, just 5-4. So a lot of those have been unforced. But your goal scorers, just one apiece in both. Nathan MacKinnon with his fourth of the tournament at 448 from Harley and Reinhart. It was a shot that was in the high slot in between the traffic of three different players. Ended up scoring that one past a partial screen. Hellebuck never saw it. And the Brady Tkachuk one funneled at the net by Austin Matthews, finishes it off the rebound at 16:52. We go to the second. Jake Sanderson, his second game of the tournament, gets his first from Matthews and Werenski at 7:32. All sorts of traffic and chaos there, and alongside the Tkachuks and Matthews in front, Sanderson gets it just inside the left circle and roofs it. And then Mitch Marner with his C-man pass for Bennett right at the 14-minute marker. Bennett with the roof over Hellebuck's shoulder ties it at 2. We still have at least another 20 minutes to go in regulation in a 2-2 tie. Again, rematches, sometimes movie sequels, as I mentioned, you never know if they're going to be as good. This one is as good as advertised, gentlemen.
The first one you heard is very good. This one's going to get the most ratings out of this one. The sequel is much, much better. Just like in the 2010 Olympics, when the first one was good between USA and Canada, the sequel drew all the highlights and the attention, and one that Canadians remember and have it etched on their memories, on the back of their minds. Sidney Crosby's golden goal, thanks to Jerome McGinley's setup.
Yeah, you don't often see this. Again, I remember the heartbreak on that, so you don't often see this as far as Four Nations, but I do think Alec, in the mix of Gary Bettman, I know he's still got a few more years under his docket. I think he's done a good job in the back end, at least not so much in the beginning. I know I mentioned that alongside with Ian Genji, but I think we're going to see some offshoot between the All-Star game. We're going to see Olympics next year, and then we're going to see Four Nations. I think we could get a good rotation over the next several years of those events.
And I totally agree. And Alec, get our man Ryan up here. He was with us on Saturday night. He wants to come up and chat during the second intermission. But I totally agree with you. This is a preview for the Olympics. Of course, the Olympics will have more nations in them, and there will not just be NHL players. We will get to see, for example, the second highest point scorer in the league, Leon Draisaitl, at the Olympics in 2026 in Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy. That is going to be fun. We will get to see a few other nations as well. Of course, we'll get to see the women play in 2026, which that's just going to be terrific. I am going to watch every minute of the Canadian women's team as well.
You know, the highlight of the second quarter was when the Canadian thought he scored. It was on the other end. I loved it. Well, really great job, guys, on the game. I'm loving it so far.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Right. Well, since we're such, we know about what most of the action can bring here on the Four Nations face-up, and of course a rotation, and that could be utilized. I agree with you there. A rotation on Four Nations face-up, Olympics, they have Four Nations face-up again, and then come 2028, that's where the most interesting part and come in. Probably you have both All-Star Game and World Cup of Hockey, given that year World Cup of Hockey is supposed to come back.
Yeah.
People were looking forward for this. We saw a thriller between North America and Sweden. That overtime, that was electric. The name of MacKinnon overtime winner. Oh, inject this in my veins.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. We get a chance to see that again. I know we got another stretch of about 9 minutes. Alec, I don't want to take the third period away from you. If you want to take the whole thing, if you want to close whatever else, I'll let you do whatever you want to do here, as we got about 10 minutes. Honestly, I'm just going to say this forthright. I feel emotionally drained after that 20 minutes. I almost feel like I've been caught in front of a tornado.
I don't know if I can survive any more of this. Oh my goodness!
It's been so good, Alec, and I'm glad that you've been here alongside with me all the way through it. I apologize I couldn't make it for Saturday because of the Sharks assignments. I got another doubleheader in the following week, but I'm glad that we're able to meet up to do this now. I wanted to make sure to at least get one of the USA-Canada games out of the way. I gave my scoring prediction. I said at the very beginning in the mix of a 4-2. Alec was talking about a 3-2. It was the same thing for Owen. Ian is really the only dissenter. Again, we have a couple Canadians in here, but the only dissenter that actually picked the U.S. on the side of being a U.S. fan. So good on him to throw that there. As much as I want the Stars and Stripes to win, I just feel like Cale Makar is going to be able to be that difference and be able to see some of that drive and play, because I just don't know how you match up with some of that. But
And John, oh my God, you should have been here Saturday night. I absolutely lost my mind when we lost that game.
I bet. But you know what? I think you're thinking the same thing, Owen. It's get that one out of the way now, right? I mean, that was kind of the thought process you had.
You're losing it.
It'll not be good. Trust me.
Just me, John. Your voice sounds very familiar. This is my second time in the space. Have you done like any podcast or something?
Yeah, it's the same thing and alongside with Alec, because he's got yins around the mic. I've been doing Hopeless Sports Guy and a lot of writing, so all that stuff goes on here too. So Alec and I have shared a lot of the same limelight. We're happy to work together. I was trying to get Cooper Hopkins in on the call, but I don't think he was going to be able to make it tonight. But I'm sure he's watching.
Somewhere. I hope this, for all intents and purposes, that I know it's going to be a very split house here, but I wish both USA and Canada the very best. All things aside,
Yeah.
we all know who USA is playing this for. Two people in mind, Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau.
It's the same thing for me on both sides, gentlemen. I'm not going to have any ill will toward the Canadian-U.S. side. I just wanted to see a good game. I wanted to see it competitive. I was looking forward to this for a long time. Just to be able to see the United States win the game on Saturday got me excited. I know I've been blessed to cover a lot of the stuff in the World Juniors and have enjoyed that. But make no mistake about it. I mean, nobody matches up with the Canadian power play line. I was expecting Jordan Binnington to have a good game today. Hey, all the injuries on both sides. Again, U.S., Canada, Sweden, Finland. Can't tell me all these guys aren't laying it out on the line because they don't make nearly as much as they make in the NHL side compared to what this is. Again, they make less in this tournament. And they're just doing this for love of country, and it's beautiful to watch.
Are they making anything for this tournament? I don't think so.
I think Gary Bettman said a third of their salary, maybe.
Oh, damn. Okay. I mean, that's sizable. But yeah, that World Junior squad, Hockey Canada's got some real reckoning to do. That was probably the worst squad we've ever sent. Not the worst squad between the Canada and U.S. ever sent. I believe it was in 2011 when the U.S. literally had to play a relegation playoff in the World Juniors.
Right.
But Canada not even coming through the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I would attribute that more on the fifth place finishes, as you said, Owen, just not even bringing the right players to the roster. Again, they're trying to fit, instead of best on best, guys that would match lines. I think you bring in your good coaching, you bring in your best players, and you let them figure it out. You put the puzzle pieces where they're supposed to be.
It's the right coach.
Yeah.
That means you have to get the right voice into the locker room, make sure that you don't make the same mistakes all over again. And I would wonder if Carter Yakimchuk will get a shot at the World Juniors.
You would think that. I know Zane Parekh is a really good defenseman there for the Calgary Flames. That probably could have already been there for Team Canada. So there's a lot to think about there. I would think coaching is one thing that they have to address. Player construction is another thing they have to address. Because 2 fifth-place finishes aren't going to cut it. Again, that can all be washed away just winning this one today. Again, you look at that goal differential, as you mentioned, Alec, 5-5 in the third period in the reverse split for Canada. Somehow I feel like that is not going to last.
Yeah, there's this general sentiment in me in which there's a part of me in which Canada will finally get instructed back in the net in the third period to get the goal differential will solved at one point. But that goal differential, I don't think it lasts. Canada has been outscored 6-1 the third period. USA has outscored opponents 5-0 in the third period. So take it as you will between these two teams, and you can just throw that stat out the window, essentially.
Oh boy, I'm going to have to interrupt all of us for a second because I just saw this across the ESPN docket. Blood clot for Victor Wembanyama. He's done for the year.
Blood clots.
Oh man.
And I was about to mention this as well, but taking care of that blood clot is first priority for Victor Wembanyama. So the type of blood clot is a deep vein thrombosis on his right shoulder.
Oh.
So you want to address that out of the way, get ready for next season, and then once you get back up to full health, then you can start to truly compete for playoff time. But right now, the season is about taking care of Wembanyama's health first and foremost. Don't think about playing or playoffs. Just think about Wembanyama's health.
That's awful news. Man, oh man.
Yeah, let's also remember that this is what caused the early retirement of Chris Bosh.
Yes.
Yeah. It's no joke at all. You remember, you got to take care of that at first. And Wembanyama is okay. I'm wishing him a fast and a speedy recovery. As a fan of the rival team on Interstate 10, this rivalry is not fun without Wembanyama. I just want this rivalry to get reignited with a new passion, with a new enthusiasm. And it's just not the same without Wembanyama.
No, I agree with you. Again, he's got this whole career ahead of him, essentially, even for Bosch. And again, Ian was right. In the Knicks, he probably still had another 5 good 6 seasons. Wembanyama is really only even just getting started. So hopefully that's all done. I mean, they just made the trade alongside for De'Aaron Fox and all that too. It feels like they're going in the right direction. So best wishes to him moving forward. We are about 2.5 minutes away from the start of the third.
So, I don't know how to take this. If we should split the third period, like you get the first 10 minutes and I get the last 10 minutes like we usually do.
I'm down to do that, Alec, if you're comfortable. I don't want to steal any highlights from you. So you could take the entire third if you want. You can do whatever you want. I know you're going to have a long day. So I want to make sure you get the glory too.
Well, if we're going out on top, then we're going out with a bang.
All right, we'll split it. You take the end. I'll start the beginning of it. And if we go to OT, then I guess we'll just have to flip coins.
We're still not, how long until the start of the third?
We're about 1.5 minutes away.
Here we go.
Yeah. Ryan, I heard you were trying to get something in on Wembanyama. What were you trying to say there, man?
Yeah, I was saying that they have to be careful with him. He's still young. And they're building a team. They got Fox. So it's important for him to recover and not take any risk. And hopefully they can be a playoff contender next season. I don't know how much time it's going to take. He's going to be ready by the start of next season. Hopefully.
That's what we all hope. I mean, that's the only thing you could think of is October is a long way away, but like you guys all said with blood clots, it's no joke. And I don't even know what's the prognosis on something like that. It's cleared when it's cleared, right?
Yeah, you nailed it. Oh, they're showing the Capitals and Penguins for this Saturday. It will be it's a bummer since I'm going to miss that one because I'll be over visiting family. But in this game, it's the first championship between USA and Canada in 15 years in a best-on-best tournament involving NHL players.
Yeah, and if it's been that long, Alec, as you mentioned, we profiled that all the way from day one on the site. At least it's going to end on the highest note that it possibly can. I don't think there's going to be any way that we see any sort of USA-Finland third period against Canada. I don't think there really is any way that Canada, we might get right to my 4-2 scoreline for Canada. I don't think Canada scores more than 2 here. One of them probably be an empty netter. We might get right to that scoreline. I think we will avoid OT. I'm still going to go with 4-2 with the Canada empty net. I'm going to stay right where I am. It's going to be late period heroics for the Canadians.
All right, so real quick.
How about 3-3? 3-3 might be very possible as well.
All right, so we all won overtime, so we'll see. We'll see.
Who are we all taking? One score from each team very quickly before we get going here.
Well, we usually do this in OT, but if you're going to go ahead and throw me off the bus here now, I'm going to say Austin Matthews, a little Canadian crime as he gets it done for the U.S., and I have no reason to not take Nathan MacKinnon.
Right. If you want my take, I'll go Sidney Crosby for Canada and Jack Eichel for USA.
I like it.
So I'm with Alec on Eichel, and I'm going to say Mitch Marner to get another one for the Canadians.
I'll say Larkin. Let's give it Larkin a chance again.
If you get Larkin again, I might lose my voice box as 1945 left to go in the third.
I'm
Is
biased because I'm in Detroit. I
Same.
like Michigan. So I would love it if Larkin scores again after he scored on Saturday.
It'd be the same.
Well, gentlemen,
Go ahead, Ian.
you know what? I'm going to give the defensemen their dues. For Canada, it will be Colton Parayko, and for the U.S., it will be Zach Werenski.
I like it, Ian.
Oh, I
That's
like
good.
that Lorenzo pick.
This will be off the inside and picked up now for Werenski into the corner. U.S. playing some defense here. Take this one left to right. Alec's going to close this final 10 minutes. If you get the OT, it's going to be a fight between Alec and I to try to call it. But again, I'll be gracious. This will be picked up toward the right side corner. A lot of tie-up here against Boldy. And now Boldy off the shove. In the mix with Cale Makar as they're getting some camera time. And the Canadians will be able to send this one from right to left. Again, the all-red jerseys with the black pants and the mix of the white and red striping, and the U.S. in the dark blue with the white and red as well, with the star emblazoned on the front. As this one will be sent in for the Canadians. It started again with Brandon Hagel, the Tampa Bay Lightning man. He's got the Tampa Bay coach there for John Cooper. He's one of the very best in the world. As this one is sent in deep. Connor Hellebuyck, it's the first game he's given up two. Again, really is no mistake about that. He's made a lot of game-breaking saves. And the same thing with Jordan Binnington off of some severe angle bounce attempts. Larkin already had a couple chances. He didn't score just yet in this game, but he's definitely been on his best. As this will be shoveled now. Matthews shot, and this one gets deflected in the corner. And now Sam Bennett, who's got the latest goal for Canada, racing right up the gut. I'll just send this toward the left side boards, and Hellebuyck will stop. A little blind back pass, chip off the glass. And now Bennett tried to send this one back. He lost it from Adam Fox. And Colton Parayko, St. Louis Blues will send this one back. Here for the defense. We'll start again. Brad Marchand will shovel this into the corner. Connor Hellebuyck with a slow stop in amongst the inboards. A little bit of push toward the right side red line as the Canadians. This will be bounced up there. A little hand-eye. Marchand tries to turn around a feather of a pass. Will help the U.S. gain the left side red line and send it in. They're going to try to change on the fly, as the U.S. will try to go ahead and pick up this puck. Dylan Larkin was the one that sent it in. He might have to take a change now. This is Mark Stone. Left side red line. Stone. Here's a dangerous pass right out in front trying to look for Crosby. Points can't hold. Here's a race for the U.S. Off a change. Breakaway down the middle. St. Binnington off Getzel.
Oh, the partial break and Jake Getzel had it stopped for that was my next option. I was going to go for the potential go for Team USA, Jake Getzel. I almost said him before I went with Jack Eichel as Connor McDavid gets slowed up hard by Brayden and Chuck. They wanted to chase for the puck, and Getzel on the grab as one of the Canadians was coming onto the ice. That was Cale Makar.
Yeah.
And an incredible recovery by Makar to force Getzel to shift to the backhand to adjust on the shot.
Yeah, you absolutely nailed it, Alec. And again, for Cale Makar, his elite foot speed. Again, we never got to watch Bobby Orr in real time, but he really is that. He's the very best defenseman in the world. That elite speed forced Getzel just on his backhand and not be able to finish over Binnington. Otherwise, the U.S. might have had something off of a bad line change. 254 career goals for Jake, fourth most since 2016-17 among Americans. He is absolutely legit. Good chance, Cirelli bounced up in the air. And this one now, Crosby shoveled in the corner as Binnington comes up large twice. This one now will be sent the other way. Chip now for Sanderson. I'm almost losing the voice now. We still got a long way to go. I got to be careful as this goes toward the left side now for Miller. Miller now will take a waft as they'll shift the ice from the left to right dot. JT Miller first to get to it. He doesn't have any reinforcements. JT now near the right circle. Off the drop. It's a good one here. Off the touch, pass goes a little bit too hard near the right boards, and Hughes fumbles the puck. Again, for me, I don't mean to pick on Jack Hughes a lot, but it's just I haven't seen the breakout as far for him. I know how good he can be for the New Jersey Devils. There's not a lot in this tournament. This one now sent in deep for McDavid. Slowed down by Hellebuyck. 15:50 thereabouts left to go in the third. It's still 2-2. It's been one goal apiece in each period. Sam Bennett's got the latest. This one now sent in for the U.S. off the rush, and Matthews pass just nutmegs everybody. Saved by Binnington from a sharp angle. And off the stick left, stolen by Austin. Tried to leave this one now for Hughes. He gets muscled into the corner now. Colton Parayko tried to find a piece of it alongside with Point. Good step up there. Tkachuk tries to keep this one onside. This one bounced off the glass, stay in play. As this is toward the right side red line. Matthews now will have to turn back around as the Canadians will pick this one up nicely in between a change. It's the mix of Bennett. Little trip there, not called, and this one whistled in off the glass from Brayden Point. It was a stick save by Connor Hellebuyck. Shot board is 23-20 for the Americans now, but that doesn't matter. The score's still tied. as we're in TD Garden in Boston. John over with you alongside Alec Nava, Ian Gengio, and Park. And here's one through the traffic. And Connor Hellebuyck made that look easy. He couldn't see it, but he made the save.
So many bodies at the front for Connor Hellebuyck in making that save. But a good eye to pay attention to a shot that was coming from the point. Toews let that one go from deep. And Hellebuyck, he wanted to be fortunate enough to have that puck hit him, and it did.
That's all you need right now. You just want that positioning, Alec. Again, there really isn't any other way to say it. You just hope that it hits you sometimes when you got this type of skill on both ends. No shifts this period for Matthew Tkachuk. He's played just 6 minutes, 47 seconds. Keep that in mind. The last shift was 3:22 of the second period. How banged up is he? This one high, big rebound funneled by the U.S. defense back to Connor. We'll get another draw.
You wonder if that injury is weighing Matthew Tkachuk. You remember he's played just 6 minutes and 47 seconds of ice time. So I wonder Mike Sullivan is limiting his usage count in this game. But a little dipsy-do for Mitch Marner once, twice, 3 times as he spun around Vincent Trocheck to get the shot away from deep. It was a bouncer. You look for a deflection.
There'll be an ozone draw. Toews will try to do it again as this one bounces off of some Canadian bodies. Knocked away from Brendan Hagel. Jake Sanderson. He gets thefted in behind the net. Sanderson's still working with it. It was a 2-on-1. This one goes in across the wall. Shot deflected off the pipe. It stayed out. And now this is an opportunity for the U.S. to push this the other way. They were a hair's breadth away from taking the lead was Canada as this one picked up now off Toews. Now toward the right side wall. U.S. slows it down. Shot. This one almost hits the pipe from Miller. Miller now drops it back. Slap shot. This one deflected. Bodies are going everywhere. A little bit of drowning pool as this goes toward the right side. And now Toews will have to start this one again. We can take a breath. Shots at 22. Scores tied at 2. And now the Canadians take a change, but the Canadians just hit the left crossbar. It could have been a 3-2 game. Not been a lot of crossbars in this one. Was it 6 against Sweden in the United States before there when they lost 2-1? And it kind of makes you wonder there with Tkachuk being out. Matthew, are you double shifting Miller, Larkin? Are you moving those other forwards around? Because you're going to need to log some big minutes here. And that is a big loss for the U.S. Make no mistake about it. That could be a game difference maker. As this is toward the right side. Matthews, funnel pass. Good save for Binnington off Getzel. He has been hot in this third as this one's gloved back down. Good defense for Slavin. Let's shovel this one in. And again, I might need your halfway help here, Alec. I'm trying to hang in there. This game is crazy as this goes in toward the right side boards. It's now Werenski. Werenski now has a chance of USA again in TD Garden. Again, you know you're going to get that. We start in the Bell Center. Brayden Point doesn't finish off the extra hit. It's loose out in front of Binnington. Shovel toward the side of the goal. Binnington says no. That took a weird bounce, but it stays 2-2. And now we'll start again toward the defensive side. My goodness, what is happening? This one shifts out of play. Take a breath.
Goaltending. Unbelievable. What we're seeing from both Hellebuyck and Binnington in the last few minutes is almost as unbelievable as against Binnington, especially. And when there were moments where we had several heart attacks, double the punch in on one end, in which it hit the left post. And they have immediate sequence of the chaos in which Jay Gensel was at the front of the net. So was Jack Eichel towards the side of the net. Binnington was remarkable plays to define this game. How insane is this, John?
Man, oh man, you had Brayden Point there right in off the tie-up as Jack Eichel tries to slam it in backhand toward the right post. Point just gets a stick on it. Binnington was alert. I mean, he had to be alert 2 or 3 times. The sequence before that, as you mentioned with Connor Hellebuyck, that one goes off the left bar. Any sort of rebound there, Canada takes the lead. Any sort of defense where Brayden Point's not there, or Binnington's not in his game, the U.S. takes the lead. The pendulum swings back and forth.
And momentum is a very funny word, especially when it comes to hockey, because you see, in the last few sequences, it looked like momentum was swinging towards Canada's favor. Down the other side, momentum was swinging towards the United States' favor. It's how insane it works when the pendulum swings one way or another. And the last few minutes, it was swinging towards the U.S.'s side, which, in all instincts, you can expect that Canada could get a little pushback on the other way.
I want to make note of this really quickly, and I'm going to be handing this off to you very shortly. But we mentioned Matthew Tkachuk hasn't taken a shift since the second period. He sits at 6:47. Chris Kreider hasn't played a whole heck of a lot either. He's got just 9 shifts, 5:28. I do think when this comes down to the stretch, Alec, here'd be my difference. You got low amount of ice time for Tkachuk, low amount of ice time for Kreider. That's going to double shift you in the mix of Larkin, Getzel, Boldy, no, whatever you want to do. I don't think you're going to be able to maintain this pace all the way through unless they can find a way. I don't think Matthew Tkachuk's going to play anymore in this game, but the U.S. is going to have to find it from somewhere if they're going to dig out this victory, but it's going to be tough.
If Matthew Tkachuk is too injured to play the rest of this game, don't get him out there onto the ice. You're going to have to start double shifting some more players here and there, especially that top line of Matthews, Getzel, and Hughes. Those three, you can imagine getting more ice time as he comes down the stretch. But it would substitute Hughes in the place of Matt Boldy because he's been having one of the more ice players out there for USA.
Center ice draw. We had the whole commercial, and I still feel like I haven't caught my breath. I did use the elliptical and got a good workout here before we started, but I'm still feeling like it now. It's like that Denver air. That's that type of game. As Jacob Slavin will push this one in the corner, and this will roll all the way down. It will not touch Binnington. The U.S. have iced it with 12:29 in the third.
You have to be careful. You want to be careful throughout. And especially with the double shifting, you would expect more from Matthews, from Getzel, from Hagel, from Boldy, and you can name it, from Larkin. Those 5 are getting the most ice time out of those. And Brayden and Chuck, even for all his hits, the USA is playing it smart to monitor his hit usage so as to not exhaust him too much.
Yeah, I think you have to. And right now, I think as this game goes along, it's going to be advantage Canadians, depending on where it is. We'll see. As this goes to the right side, I know where the feelings lie, but we got to be honest. 2-on-1, Marchand drop toward the right side. Good shot block for Jacob Slavin off the back skate. He has done it all. As this is picked up now for Jarvis. This is really tied up. Devon Toews was knocked down, and he's getting some stick taps, Jacob Slavin, because that was all world, Alec.
Otherworldly shot block. Kudos to him for dropping and sliding. Cancel out the shot off the 3-on-2 rush on the passer trigger of Marchand all the way to the trigger of Seth. Jarvis was waiting, and it's his Hurricanes teammate Jacob Slavin. Come on, if you want to talk about friendly fire, that's the way to put it about friendly fire.
If Jacob Slavin scores the game-winning goal, I'm doing a Hurricanes man.
You got to do it with the deep voice and all that. I hope that happens for you, Alec, on that side, too. I know you're mixing in between the Penguins and the Hurricanes, but Jacob Slavin has been so good throughout this tournament. I'm glad that you mentioned it, too. And alongside the hits, the shot blocks, I mean, he's been the U.S.'s best defender by far.
Bar none. The best defender for the USA. The most valuable one.
So Harley now from point. This one will get shoved in the corner about a minute away here from giving it away to Alec. And we'll close this one out in the third unless we need OT. Hope it might not go too late for him because he's going to have to catch a plane ride. As this one now picked up here for Jake Sanderson. Sanderson was the latest to score for the U.S., if not for Bennett in that second. That's why we still sit at a 2-2 tie. And it's going to be a war of attrition here. The fresher bodies are going to belong to Canada here as they get a chance, I think, to relish playing the villain for a game. I think that's the easier role than trying to play the hero. That's just me. That's what I always think about it, as this one's chipped in off the glass. The U.S. now try to funnel this one ahead. It's Brock Nelson. He can't get to it. As now this goes toward the right side boards. This will be a rolling puck the other way, and Slavin's already back out there. We'll send this one ahead. A good bounce pass in off the skates of J.T. Miller. And Miller now will send this around the embankment as Binnington goes to stop it. Now toward the left side, Binnington turns it over as this one gets shoveled in off the glass, back to neutral. Alec, get set to take it away.
Oh, this has been brilliant action. I'm not sure if I can survive the rest of this, knowing that thinking about my plane right there. I had to catch it early in the morning. USA's back in this for the near side, Jack Hughes. And this one deflected up and out of play. It might have gotten a piece of a stick.
So 3:22 left in the second. Last shift for Tkachuk, 2:52 left in the second. Last shift for Kreider. Are both players injured for the United States is the question. They could essentially be 2 forwards down.
Essentially, and that way of wishful thinking, because Matthew Tkachuk is clearly playing through injury. Kreider, I don't know if he has an injury designation for him, but what we do know is that Josh Morrissey is ill, and thus that rendered him unavailable in this game. It's the Tampa line out there for Canada plus Sam Bennett and the Colorado Perry. For USA, it is Larkin, Tkachuk, and Matthews. One by USA, back up to the left point, now right point. Adam Fox. Right around for the near boards, collected by Brayden Tkachuk right behind the net. Canada was trying to stick check him all throughout. Around for Matthews. This is held inside. Intended for Matthews. Had been wanting to go back for Matthews, but Canada, good pickpocket. And now he's a 2-on-2 between Tampa line mates, Hagel and Cirelli. Hagel chops his board, Cirelli in pursuit. Arriving is Larkin to body him away. Around for the far boards. Grabbed by Doughty off for Harley. Harley's deep shot blocked. And it goes up through center. And Canada recollects. Thomas Harley left it up for Hagel, drops it off. Another drop pass for Thomas Harley again. Doughty winds, fakes the shot, goes around Austin Matthews. Doughty sends one up in front. And that was batted away. At the halfway mark of this third period. And here comes a one-on-one rush with Jake Gensel. Gensel, fancy move! Jordan Binnington turned away. Doughty on the hole. This one deflected out. But what a beautiful move from the Omaha native Gensel.
And that started off a full sail clear. U.S. looked a little winded here. Again, we're going to be profiling that as this game continues to get later. Jack Gensel almost makes a dipsy do it a lot of nothing, forces the commercial and a Binnington hold.
You gotta love this Four Nations face-off for what it brings into all hockey, for what it brings to the NHL, and for what it brings to what it means to play the sport.
Absolutely. Again, this is what hockey really is all about. I know we could talk about some things in the regular season, but in comparison to any other sport, I don't know if you saw the clip from PK Subban a little bit earlier on the first take side. I think he absolutely nailed it in the side of you got to play with passion and energy. You got to be ready to hit. You got to be able to do all the little things to try to win. And in comparison to some of those other sports, sometimes that may or may not be the case. But you're right, Alec. You're seeing the best of the best here. And again, you could talk about it all the way through. I mean, especially think about it for Ottawa. Think about it for a lot of the other teams. Hell, even the Florida Panthers with Tkachuk. You don't want to see either Tkachuk end up being injured. You still didn't want to see some of the other stuff going on. They got to play, and they're in the middle of a playoff run. They're trying to repeat.
Yeah. The Florida Panthers are under chase for repeating as Stanley Cup champions. They're just fresh off their first Stanley Cup championship. What does it stop them from getting a second straight championship? Well, the one thing that can stop them is injuries and durability. Already, the Boston Bruins are having to deal without Charlie McAvoy because of the infection on his right shoulder. But if the Panthers, they lose some more bodies, then that means other teams are going to catch up to them. We're seeing Toronto being a likely candidate to be neck and neck with Florida. Already, I think Toronto is keeping up pace. And if they meet in the playoffs, that series is going to be tight. Plus, how much longer is Sergei Bobrovsky going to hold up? Have we seen his last hurrah?
We might. Who knows? I think I would rather see, maybe I'm speaking for Canadians fans on that side, I would rather see Toronto and Florida rather than Toronto and Tampa Bay again. I know what that could mean because that series is fun, but I think the Maple Leafs would rather play the Panthers.
Yeah, a second round matchup perhaps, assuming that Toronto gets by Tampa in the first round, but that would be a brilliant second round matchup. Canada is fighting back, getting to push back, but we are profiling Jacob Slavin as 2 huge shot blocks, forcing away what could have been a tying goal from Sidney Crosby, and then blocking another huge shot, in which he has got USA still in this game. Tied at 2, Alec Nava, John Mott, Ian Gennady, Owen Parkin here. The MacKinnon line up against the Eichel line. It is won by the Eichel line. Eichel backhand this through. Binnington will play this for Reinhart on his backhand. Reinhart written on the wall. Gensel trying to stick it away from the Canadians, but Canada has it again. The Rouge is trying to take the lead. They have only one third period goal, albeit an empty netter from Sidney Crosby. That was against Finland. USA will move this one up. Is Eichel starting to rush? Eichel from the near half boards. We'll move it around for Gensel. Gensel is canceled out, and onto the near corner comes Doughty. This goes back around for the force one more time, and will be kept in by the Americans. from the point. Deep shot brought on by Binnington on the blocker. And another wind-up. Binnington stood firm as well. Canada has it. That's a 90-mile-an-hour slapper from Jacob Slavin, who's been so far the best defender of this tournament. Bar none. Whether it be the Americans or any other international tournament. And that pass was deflected, but USA still has it. Chopped up by Larkin, who's using his speed to go after this puck. On his back end, that pass is intercepted by Point. Point and Parayko going after it. Parayko. Larkin was still there. McDavid gets the hand on the puck. And for Parayko, Marner, and a breakaway was nullified. Good defense by USA as they go back across, but Canada comes away with it. Here comes McDavid as he pursues the puck at the near corner of the USA zone. McDavid still with the puck. Riding on the backhand as it's a good keep in as McDavid continues to pursue this puck. Point will get it back for McDavid. But he's chipped away once, twice. USA trying to clear it out, and they do. Canada will get it on for their own end, and Binnington plays towards the near side. 8 minutes to go. Should we remain tied, we go up. Continuous 5-on-5 overtime until a winner. Towards the point, just kept in. Thomas Harley towards the near corner, scooping up his box. Towards the near half boards, Miller chops this one out towards neutral ice. Doughty, away from several Americans. Anthony Cirelli backhands this one, and in pursuit is Hagel. Had been played away from Hagel, Fox as well from Cirelli. Once again, it's cleared. What a mess of hockey here. After halfway point this first period, and back it goes for Hagel as he enters one and flips it down for the ice. And he spun around with favor, and USA will start up once again. Here comes a partial break for the Americans. Towards the net, and they get this possessed. Rush coming the other way. Here's Brad Marchand, free on free. Marchand towards the goal. Flips this towards the bottom deep of the ice. Bennett finds Marchand. One-timer, kicked out by Hellebuck. Rebound loose in front and swept away by the Stars and Stripes. 92 for Parayko, a blazing clapper. Bennett picks it up again. Twisted and turned by several Americans. Sanheim by Parayko. Parayko fires. That's wide. And is held inside by Canada. Towards the left point, Sanheim. Sanheim missed everything. And it'll be held inside by Bennett. Inside the blue line, bouncing puck. Collected behind the crease. And hugging the left post was Connor Hellebuck.
And this is what I'm thinking here. Again, I already profiled it, Alec, as far as what's going to go on toward the end of this. If the U.S. are missing this many forwards now at this point, late in the game, it's the energy here for the Canadians. A lot of shots. Good stop there for Hellebuck with the stick. They're going to need to win this draw. Try to find the energy somehow, get traffic in front of Binnington and force him to make some magic.
Whether it be from the USA or Canada, the magic has to be there. And right now it's MacKinnon on the ice. He wins the face up. Toews towards the goal. Rebound at the front. MacKinnon was right there. He gets twisted turn on the backhand. Still Larkin out to the racing. Shots throughout the near side boards. Binnington clips out the Blayden. Larkin trying to hold the near corner. Canada grabs it. And here they come. Potential 2-on-2 if they hurry. Reinhart on the near side boards. Around Sanderson and Hannafin who played it to the far side. USA starts up with it. Deflected up. And Austin Matthews will move it up for the ice. Noah Larkin forced wide towards the near side boards, and Rico, I think, is Devon Toews. Intercepted by Getzel on a long stretch pass, and it will be Adam Fox from his home zone who start up. 6 minutes to go. As moving up is Zach Morrissey, forced to the left. And this one around for the far boards. Near side, this gets deflected up and held inside by the Americans. Morrissey deep shot and blocked in front by Harley. Harley trying to place away from USA and wanted to clear. And to get it out, some Americans are calling for a penalty. We stay 5-on-5. Still us up for grabs. USA gets it back deep. Binnington plays it up for Harley. Thomas Harley towards the near side for Point. Brayden Point. Across the red line and will leave it. And out Point from Stone. Point wants to go to McDavid. Connor McDavid from Gretzky's office. Where does he go? Around the boards. He'll be held inside by Doughty. Off McDavid's stick. And USA will reclaim it. Rock favor. Near side force for Hughes. Hughes will center it up. And a little toe drag around. Some busy stick work for USA as they will send this towards Binnington, who will glove it down and leave it behind for Doughty. 5 minutes to go in this instant classic. Drew Doughty up from center. Deflected up. And Canada backhands this towards the USA zone. Favor will recollect it from the trapezoid. Being pursued by Brandon Hagel. Jacob Slavin backhands it over, and Canada will recollect it and will send this down the ice over Hellebuck's head. And USA will restart once more. Slavin still looking for options. Backhanded all the way up across. USA's in, and Binnington shuts down a shot from the top of the left circle. 4:29 to go. And guess who's out there on the ice? It's not Matthew Tkachuk, but it's Chris Kreider.
It's a good sign there for the U.S., Alec. They're going to need bodies. I think they're going to have to try to get to OT as much as they can as the pool of energy starts to expire, I would think. And then I would ask you this. If we get to OT, the grand question is, can the United States step on the gas and try to finish it early? Because, again, as long as this goes, I do think that they're going to be at a disadvantage, depending on what's available. But again, you got to find whatever is in you between both of these teams, make no mistake about it, and try to find a way to get one past, because you got the skill on the other side for Canada. You're not going to be able to compete with that alongside for McDavid and MacKinnon, and we know that. Really, from what we see, Alec, too, there's probably not going to be any more penalty calls. So that's a lot of the way. This is going to have to get done 5-on-5.
That's how we see things realistically. 5-on-5, the way it is to go throughout. And we're looking at it right here. Very rarely do you see it. We're not going to realistically see a regulation go here for the rest of this game. We're likely going to see overtime. That's how both teams are playing this one out, because neither teams are giving each other an inch.
This is going to come down to the wire as it did before. And again, I was interested to see the way that the third period would start, because it was 2-2. Again, you had the Saturday side where the U.S. were fortunate enough to be up by a goal. They played defense essentially for 20 minutes, clearing the puck down the ice. It worked for them. I was surprised that Canada didn't find a way to tie it on Saturday and maybe even outright get the win, just because you couldn't play defense for that long. But the U.S. did, and they were able to secure a win on Saturday. Now, when it's tied, you have to go for it at some point. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen here in regulation unless we get some sort of bounce or traffic at the net. You still got 4:25 left in the third. I'm just honored to be with you here on this instant classic, because, again, we've called Stanley Cup Finals games all through the series. Owen's joined. Ian's been in through a lot of these. And this one might be the very best game we've ever called.
Ever. And it feels that way. We're growing towards that sentiment. Winner takes all. You know the stakes. We all know the stakes. And given the circumstances, this feels like a high-pressure Game 7 environment. And every player is treating it as such. Here in TD Garden, they know what it's about. 24 saves for Jordan Binnington. 20 saves for Connor Hellebuck. These goaltenders have been playing at their very best. And whoever big blitz first, we'll have yet to see, because we have no definitive answer. Offense don't face up one by Larkin. Dylan Larkin's around. Set up, has it, runs. And the one-timer is blocked from the slot. Canada picks it up and will chip this one down as Reinhart's pursuing his own dumping. Slavin on cue, able to stick this away from Reinhart. Canada was able to keep this at the right circle, out of the reach of Reinhart. Reinhart able to one-hand this over to Crosby, who was under duress. Escapes to the puck, backhands it over, intends to get this back over to Reinhart, but no further. USA will dump this one down. It's deflected. Toews almost coughed it up. Now he does his Brayden chuck on a little snow flurry on the near corner, trying to scoop this one up for the Americans. Morrissey, Sanderson fires, turned away by Binnington. Hagel keeps it in front. Nobody was there. Nearly a giveaway for the Canadians, but they are able to clear this one out. Back comes USA. The Americans with this Doughty. Look for a pass, and this is way up into the air, and it's fielded by infielder Jordan Binnington.
Yeah, it was a wholesale all the way up in the air. Bennington's going to take no chances here again. That doubleheader. It'll be the Red Wings and the Wild, and then the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Cavs. You get a little Crosby, Ovechkin. Again, Alex, I can be able to cover that one. I know he'll be looking along in spirit. 3:35 left in regulation.
I didn't mean to get into the baseball jokes of the infielder Jordan Binnington part, but spring training is indeed underway.
Yes.
Sophomore Cup's victory on the Dodgers in spring training. Hoping that Bobby Miller is okay. That was a hard hit he took off the bat from Michael Busch. Our corner, Parayko, will feed this one up, and Canada will start their attack. McDavid for Marner. These two back on the same line together, and this is a jump for the puck. Out inside my point. Out of the reach of McDavid. Will be grabbed by Sanderson, and USA able to skate this one to center. Here comes a 2-on-1. That Hagel, that Doughty, backhand across, intercepted, and Canada this one down. Bennett able to play. Far corner, and it's Slavin. Jacob Slavin clears this one to leg. And it's collected by Canada. It went out for USA stick. That was Jack Hughes trying to generate something. But Canada's able to get this one out. It's Seth Jarvis. Jarvis through the near half boards. Turned away by Faber. And the Americans up with this. JT Miller. Back this goes for Faber. And the Stars and Stripes wanting to get the lead here in regulation. What will these two teams do in the final 2 minutes? Nearly a giveaway from Binnington. Jack Hughes was right in the face of one of the Canadians. Hagel under duress. Cirelli came in to help. Hagel once again finds himself under duress. Cirelli tried it free. And now it's Toews. For the near half boards, the put inside by Hagel. Matthew Tkachuk has not had a shift in this period. That can be attributed to the injury that he suffered against the Canada round robin game. Here's Toews, 133. Devon Toews, long stretch pass, and here comes MacKinnon. Fires and is shut down by Hellebuck.
That's exactly what you need right now for the United States, because Devon Toews right to Nathan MacKinnon from 120 feet. Boy, oh boy, did that look easy. He was shot out of a cannon there. That was a good save near the left post.
Hellebuck made sure to pump that left post shot to deny MacKinnon another chance. Shot from the left circle. Ovechkin's offense on power plays. 89 seconds left in regulation. And here's the common sentiment. Next goal wins. Harley's defensive pairs out there. Crosby loses the face-off. USA will get it up. 5 shots down goal for MacKinnon on 16:59 of ice time. Puck is up, and this will be sent in by USA, and will be grabbed by Canada away from the Americans. And this will be sent down, collected by Faber from the far side. USA blocks this one up. Near corner, 40. And to the Canadian zone, up for Hagel. Behind the back pass. 40 was way out of position. Now it goes back for Hagel. Opens play behind that. Last minute of regulation. Sidney Crosby all the way across as this gets bounced up and grabbed down by Getzel. Away from several Canadians. 40 will flip it on his backhand. As it goes back deep. Canada able to recollect it with 45. Thomas Harley. Harley slowly up with this. Moves this one up. Deflected. Hellebuck way out of his crease. He's got to be careful because there are 2 Canadians left and right. Held inside by Marner. Centering pass gets knocked up. And it's held inside by Canada. Comes over to the right circle. Marner waiting. Firing. And cross loose. How did that not go in? And it's held inside by Canada. Sanheim shot deflected up. McDavid able to hold this one. Points in pursuit. 16 seconds. USA has it. Wanting to clear this one out. Cannot. Now they can. 10 seconds. Last chance in regulation. Toews drag. Shot from Makar. And is gloved down by Hellebuck. My goodness.
Well, I won't say anything bad about Jake Sanderson, but the one time when he had to go play it back in behind Connor Hellebuck, they ran into each other, which created this cross pass, the danger all over. JT Miller maybe saves a goal right there, Alec, as McDavid was right on the doorstep. All he had to do was tap it in, if not for JT Miller.
And JT Miller bailed himself out of what could have been a miscue because
Yeah.
he almost put them in the back of the net, but able to guide on his backhand to keep it away. Face off win by Canada. Last gap of air in regulation. Shot is blocked. And this championship game, for all the marbles, for all the pride, it's headed to overtime.
Yeah.
Excellent job, Alec, as always. Again, you guys all called in the sense of what it was going to be. I guess my goal scoring prediction is not going to work out. I said 4-2. It's going to be 3-2 in the mix for one of these. And again, we talk about the energy. I won't delay that too much more. I will say this, as far as a 5-on-5, I know Canada's going to have the advantage, but I think the U.S. are probably fortunate that this isn't some sort of 3-on-3 OT, because they'd really be hurting at this point.
If this is 3-on-3, that's where advantage Canada comes in. 5-on-5, that's where the even slate comes into play. And if it's 5-on-5, and USA can keep up with their physicality for some time. But there's a certain point in which physicality is going to wear out.
Yes.
It happens to the best of teams when they rely on an overly physical style. Remember, the 2023 Florida Panthers, they were a physical team. That's what got them to the Stanley Cup final. They ran out of the gas They ran out of the gas tank once they got to the Stanley Cup final because you get always play physical for so long that it catches up to you. It nearly burned them last year in the Stanley Cup final against the Oilers.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens here, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, Alec. Again, we're going to keep our same predictions as far as who we think is going to score and all. I know we called it a period early, but we're headed to OT anyway. And, this is going to be fun. Again, this is what we all wanted to see, and this game is going to end how we really wanted it to end, in OT for all the marbles. And I will say this, whether I'm going to be extremely excited or extremely sad, I'll be sad once this game is done. But no questions about it between both of these teams in the Four Nations. Hell, everybody in the Four Nations. Everybody represented themselves well. This has been all about hockey, all about class on both sides, teams leaving it out on the line for pride, for country, for our entertainment. This has been beautiful stuff.
So here's the real question. Who's calling overtime?
I'm going to let Alex start because I know he's got to catch a plane. And then if he wants to do the whole thing, he can. But we're going to continue to flip.
When do you have to catch a plane?
My flight leaves at 6.
Oh, damn.
I'll be right back.
You're really grinding out this one then.
In the morning, nonetheless.
No, I figured that much. Damn. I respect that, bro.
Oh, this is what the grind can do for you. It's not like 4 sports in 4 days. It's like, oh, that's stuff when you have to do a lot of assignments. Or when you have an assignment, it's not like when you're doing March Madness when you're one of those broadcasters being on one of the broadcasting 8 stations down at courtside where you have to do multiple games on one day. It's not like one of those, but it feels pretty chaotic knowing the schedule. Now there's the ESPN side is showing the highlight of the golden goal scored by Sidney Crosby that was scored 2010 in the Winter Olympics at Vancouver. Sidney Crosby from Jerome Iginla officially on that golden goal. We have yet to know who is going to score the golden goal because nobody scored in the third period. I'm so happy that this game's going to overtime, but at the same time, scared. I have goosebumps over. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're all keeping the same predictions just to give the background of how we got here. So, in this first period, MacKinnon with a shot that went through 3 defenders from the Americans. Thomas Harley and Sam Reinhart with the assist, but what a C-guy shot from MacKinnon to get this one from the left point and on the way home. Tied up at 1 apiece with 3 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first period. Thanks to Brayden and Chuck, was at the net front off an Austin Matthews wraparound attempt. And in the second period, Jake Sanderson, the lucky dog, as he banked this one at the back of the net. First goal by an American defenseman in the entire tournament, by the way. Matthews and Morrissey were battling for the puck at the front of the net, with Brady and Chuck also in the vicinity. The tie was broken at 7:30 during the second period. Seth Bennett evened it up as the lane was open the left side. Mitch Marner opened that space from the center of the offensive zone towards the left circle where Bennett is at as he roofed that one. At the third period, it was mayhem at both creases between Connor Hellebuyck and Jordan Binnington. Big save after big save. Hellebuyck has totaled 22 saves. Binnington has 25. And we know these two goaltenders have a knack for the big moments, especially at TD Garden. They've had their best games of their hockey playing careers at this very venue. Hellebuyck was playing college hockey in the NCAA. Binnington while playing for the St. Louis Blues in the Stanley Cup Final. Who comes out on top is anyone's question. But so far, what we do know is that it's a 2-2 game. The winner to be crowned Four Nations Face-Off champion.
Really couldn't ask for anything more. Thank you for the breakdown, Alec. I had to make sure I get myself settled for OTs. We got about another 9.5 minutes or so. Again, Connor Hellebuyck, 21 of 23. I did say this at least for Canada. Binnington was going to have to play his best game. He certainly has. 25 of 27 so far as we continue to monitor and get set for this OT. Again, Alec is going to lead this off for us, and then we will continue to move this thing around for as long as it takes. Everything is on the line, and the trophy and everything else as well, between USA and Canada, and a second billing. Couldn't ask for anything better than this.
This packed Boston crowd nonetheless. This loud fan base waiting for hockey to be played here on an international stage. And they are getting their wish here at TD Garden. The Montreal crowd is hoping for a Canada victory. Boston crowd hoping for a USA victory. Of course, Original Six rivalries go deep, but this is far beyond Original Six rivalries. This is best on best international play at its finest. We do have some people with the Uncle Sam figureheads in attendance. I saw someone dressed like George Washington and another dressed like Benjamin Franklin in attendance.
There's nothing wrong with that on the side. A little bit of presidential pride in the mix there for the Americans. I imagine there was going to be a little bit of that in between Canada as well. But I think all the fans have been able to behave themselves as we have as well. We're just enjoying the spectacle here. And again, this game has done everything that you wanted it to do. You had a couple of goals in between the first and second, nothing yet in the third, as I'm typing those ones up in for the game story. Admittedly, I will say this, I don't know how long the game story is going to be, only because I feel like I'm absolutely exhausted. And I'm only saying that because this game has been so good.
Yes, it has. It's delivered at every moment. And this Four Nations face-off, of course, I just want this feeling to never end. Whether or not it's a victory for the Americans or the Canadians, this is a huge success for the NHL, and I really can't wait for next year's Olympics.
Yeah, me too, Alec. In the mix, you have hopefully at some point we get to see the Czechs, the Russians, the mix of everything else across too. There's so much more talent that I wish we could have seen in this tournament already. That we've already seen a lot, but there's still many more players out there that I can't wait to see in a uniform for pride and country.
Well, maybe we'll see Ovi and Kucherov and Svechnikov in 2027. If Ovi's still playing, then he's probably gonna retire and move to some villa in Moscow. But
that's how it could be. But I would also love to see Draisaitl in the Olympics, Pasternak, Kucherov, as you mentioned, Svechnikov, all the international talent that's there for the NHL playing overseas.
I think they've essentially ruled Russia out of 2026, so I don't think we're going to see them in then. But
yeah, it's a shame, and I understand all the stuff that Ian made great points earlier there about the situations with the nations and this and that and what's been going on, but I do feel bad. Again, no, some people won't, but I do. I do feel bad for the players that really want to go out there and do that, because I don't blame the NHL players for everything else that's been going on. I just want to see them play.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what they signed up for. To watch the NHL players play at their very best on the international stage. You would wish to have everyone involved. Russia especially, because it's been a while since we last saw Russia on a best international tournament with NHL players on their disposal. Strong on the wings and a solid defense to go with it. The question about Russia, though, center depth and right-handed defenseman.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right about that. I wonder also if Velnichuk can ever get stuff straight away as well. He's already been such a dynamic player for the Colorado Avalanche when they end up winning the Cup. So that would be one guy that they would need to get locked in. He's got to get everything because he's got his own set of problems. But when you think about Germany, you mentioned Draisaitl, and I can't forget, alongside Moritz Seider would be leading Team Germany.
And Tim Stützle.
Stützle is a fantastic player for Ottawa. So there's a lot of international talent that I would love to see. And maybe at some point, this 4 nations can turn into an 8 nations. Or just keep adding some more teams, please.
But does Germany have enough players to field a significant team in the NHL? I don't think they do.
They might have enough to make some talent, but they might end up the same way that Finland did on their back end defense. You make a good point.
Yeah, and that's what I fear, right? I mean, make it a Six Nations, you don't leech off the rugby. Add Russia and the Czechs. If you really want to, add a seventh team for rest of the world. There's no pride in playing for rest of the world, so I understand why they wouldn't want to do that.
I know they played this in the Open, Alec, but I just want to step in front real quick because they played the Miracle Again thing for OT. That's just pumping me up right now.
And that was a classic moment, and not only in hockey history, but American hockey history as well. The classic Miracle moment shown here with Herb Brooks and all the players, Mark Johnson, Buzz Schneider, Mike Maruzioni. Of course, you want something to inspire you, and you're thinking of a miracle. The time in which the Americans beat the Soviets is in 1980 in the Olympics to get they're on the road to beating Finland to claiming their first Olympic gold medal in ice hockey. And you're seeing all the players with their reenactments.
I love that.
Them as players in Miracle. Isn't that a neat touch to this?
That's
no miracle if USA wins.
No, it's so cool. They go into the Miracle side, and now we're getting all the 9 seconds with the fights, and then everything else on the Saturday side in the mix of Miracle. I mean, if that doesn't get your blood pumping, you must be a robot. Now we get a chance to see McDavid's backhand, all the highlights, the vicious hits from Saturday, and we're seeing a lot of that in this game. Maybe not as many fights. We didn't get any of those yet. We knew we weren't going to see that, but all the intrigue on everything on the side of it. If you didn't already want to do it for Gaudreau, you want to do it for Charlie McAvoy on the Canadian side, what other better way to get advantage than to beat the United States, considering everything else that's been going on? This is big for both sides, and I'm just glad that this game has absolutely delivered.
It has, and then some. We're seeing, and the thrilling conclusion will be coming to an end very fittingly in overtime. Admittedly, I didn't want to have it end in overtime because I wanted this more regulation. But overtime, if it's any reason to keep me up awake for a few more minutes, I'll take it.
I'm sorry, Alec. I appreciate you being a trooper. If there is any point that you need to take over or rest, that's why I'm letting you start at first. You just let me know. I want to make sure that I got your support regardless. And I think if you end up getting the result that you want, at least you'll be able to keep you awake because you won't be sleeping.
Oh, man, I would have trouble sleeping on the flights. Yeah, I said flights because it's two of them.
But so where's your flight to, Alec? Where's your flight to?
Well, it's a pair of flights, but I'm visiting family in Mexico.
Oh.
Yep.
My parents are in Mexico right now, actually.
Oh. Okay. Hey, I'll give them a shout out.
We are starting, gentlemen, to see the players come out on the ice here. Jordan Binnington was the first one to get the camera shot. And now Mike Sullivan. Again, Alec going to get set to take this away. We still see Matthew Tkachuk in alongside his boys. Again, you're not going to see them go anywhere. You're not going to want to see these guys go in the room. If I can't play, I'm sitting in amongst my bench and celebrating and living and dying with my team. That's just the way it is.
We'll have to find out who this trophy is going to be hoisted by. 20 minutes at the very most, or at the very least, to find out. If it is at least 20 minutes, we'll have another one of these overtime frames. Connor McDavid has played in 3 overtime playoff games last season. He scored the winning goal, and the only one that went in the second overtime, 32 seconds into Game 1 of that year's Western Conference Final. It was a 3-2 result, and very fittingly, it will be a 3-2 result here this time around. We have yet to know who is it going to be. 63-55 shots in favor of Canada, scoring chance at 14-11 Canada as well. USA will start with the Brayden and Chuck line, and Canada will counter with the McDavid line. So best line against best line in a sense in terms of pure talent from a perspective at that point. And Canada started with Travis Sanheim's defensive pair. Dylan Larkin's on the ice. The Jacob Slavin pairs out there onto the ice. Overtime. Here we go. Oh, the marbles. USA will have first touch at their own zone.
Let's go.
And it's moved up The Americans still with this. Rock favor. Over to his partner, and a shot up for the near side. The ice, Brayden was blocked up on this dump in. Jordan Binnington will collect it. 4 shots, 5 hits, 1 goal for Brayden. And what else is there to say that he could be tournament MVP and the Canadians win this as his deep shot for MacKinnon is out?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, Alec, in the mix, you got the fresh sheet of ice. You just had the break there. Again, we talked about the lines all night as far as what it could be for the U.S. Do either one of these teams press on the gas and score early in the first 10 minutes, or do we get a little trepidation? Let's find out.
1,654 career points for Sidney Crosby, 9th most all-time and the most among active players. You can say that he is a top 5 player of all time in NHL history. He loses the face-off as the USA moves up for the near half boards. This gets bounced up and backhanded away by Canada. Over to the penalty box doors. Getzo shoots this down the distance. Coming out of his crease to play is Binnington. Over to Makar. Around Getzo. Toews goes back for Makar. For the near boards for Sam Reinhart. Reinhart sets it up for MacKinnon. Beautiful toe drag, but Jack Eichel is there to stick him away. And here comes Hagel for the far side. Shoved out by Reinhart, still to hold the puck. And that gets turned away by Binnington. Keeping it is Getzo. They'll point it up, and Canada grabs this one down. Pass off the far side to Boris. This will be ice. Or is it? No, it will not. USA will have it, but they'll start for the owner of the ice. Doughty, great wide pass. Here's a shot, and it goes wide. Zach Morrissey able to hold this one. Their quarter collected up by Canada, and they will move this one up. Mark Stone will go across the ice. Moving it in is Canada. The shot gets turned away by Hellebuck. Another chance here for the Rouges. Turnaround shot gets over to the near corner. Keeping is Hagel. Brandon Hagel still control at the near half boards. Around for Marner. Marner sends it around intended for Cirelli, but Morrissey jumped in front. Bouncer over towards the left point, held inside by the Canadians. Cirelli still pursued. The Americans will clear this one out. Through the far side, this will be down the distance, and USA's iced it. They cannot change.
I know they're talking about it on the U.S. bench a little bit as far as some of these. Eichel toward the right side will get some chances, but the U.S. trying to clear, taking some hits. They felt like they should have got icing on the last play. I thought that you called that right, Alec, and the crowd just continues to boo. You cannot let this get in your head right now. The U.S. just trying to clear and fight for their lives as this one has started. You got to keep concentrated on the hockey and make sure you're there and make the right play. Maybe they caught the Canadians almost on too many men.
They almost did, it seems. And the Americans had almost a good eye, just like what Corey Perry can point out about too many men onto the ice. He's one of the smartest players on the ice still to this very day, even if he is in near his 40s. Face off to the right of Hellebuck, and it'll be taken by McDavid. Opposite what I believe is going to be JT Miller. It is won by Miller, but McDavid is relentlessly pursuing the puck. Favor away from McDavid. McDavid still in pursuit as he's whacked it once, twice, 3 times, and down through Canada's territory. USA finally gets their change. McDavid, burst of speed for the near side. Now shifts through center. McDavid to the left circle. Curling drag. And that was stopped. The Americans get it back up, but they're dispossessed. Back comes McDavid. Left circle. McDavid trying to end it. Sticked away. Marner on the hole. Pinballs around to be grabbed by Austin Matthews. Around with the far side. Good job by Canada. Not getting a little breakout. Behind Binnington's creases gets poked away. Jake Gensel through the far side for Sanderson. Almost lost control of the puck to keep this one inside. Over to Larkin. Right behind that. Set up pass for Matthews. What a save by Binnington. He got off that one. Larkin, one-timer cross. And that one missed. And Canada will get this one out. Holy mackerel. Binnington with a spectacular stop to keep this going. The Americans still with this. Here at Morrissey sends this down to distance. At the far corner, the Americans just hold it. And here comes the potential breakaway for the championship. Oh, slowed down was Marchand. And it goes over to the right point. MacKinnon holding it. And the Americans going one-on-one the other way. Jack Eichel waits for reinforcements. He gets this one back. At 40. 40 fires. Turned away. Binnington. 40 is Eichel. Going back for Hanifin. Around to the right circle. This shot. Kicked out by Binnington.
It's Getzel setting up Matthews right on top of the crease, and a pad save to save the game. A beautiful save for Binnington keeps it going, and the U.S. back check the other way. It was Getzel on one end, Getzel on the other. Stop Marchand as we're still going, if not for Jordan Binnington. Mercy, what a save.
30 and 25, the shot advantage for the Stars and Stripes. Chance to win it with a face-off to the left of Binnington. Crosby to counter, MacKinnon and Cirelli, all centers. Crosby does counter. Toews gets this one up, and USA will start this from their own zone. 4 minutes gone in this first overtime period. It is Brock Nelson, and his clear was intercepted. Brad Marchand with 973 career points, which is 5th in Bruins history. Canada's playing it safe towards the far benches. Reinhart and Slavin in pursuit. Reinhart matching up Slavin as Jack Hughes gets it away, and Brock Nelson with this. Nelson, this one deflected up and out, and Canada will recollect it to Reinhart. This one up and out of his reach. Slavin gets this one down. Brayden in pursuit. Here's Matthews. Go win it! And Binnington is like that. Rolling save. Oh my word! He outdid himself.
You're not kidding here as this one's cleared in. Brayden Tkachuk able to get a piece of it, makes one save. Tkachuk settles it down out of the air, and Binnington full sprawl able to stop that one and keep Canada again behind his back.
Jordan Bennington putting the life on the line for his country. Let's go!
That's what you love to see.
Canada!
I'm out of words. Quick shot draw. Binnington one more time. Wow.
He's putting Austin Matthews in a milk carton right now. This is right off the draw toward the right side. Beautiful chance. It would have been labeled top, and then Binnington with the glove making it look easy.
He's getting Canada on his back here. Brayden Tkachuk over to Austin Matthews. Out inside his own left point. Hadn't been around. Now Brayden Tkachuk out of his reach. Brandon Hagel in pursuit. Sam Bennett also there at the far half boards. Bennett still in a tight battle. Jordan Binnington plays this one behind. Austin Matthews, one of 9 scares all time with multiple 60-goal seasons. That's out of 5 seasons away from Brandon Hagel. That's the penalty box towards Cirelli. As it's placed, he's placed away from danger. That's a 5-minute mark. On the near side, this one deflected off the stanchion, and USA waiting some more time as they get this one through, but not much further. Doughty away from Getzel as he blows a tire, and Canada will move this one up for the center ice. Mitch Marner pickpocketed, and USA will shoot this one around the near boards. That was Doughty, and Canada will get this one out. Brock Faber mishandled this puck, and off the far side, this one chopped inside. Harley tying up his man near the USA bench. Point arise for support along with Miller for their countries respectively. McDavid also there, but it's grabbed by Harley and on across for Doughty. Deflected inside by Marner, and a foot race. Hellenic plate is on his back end out to the far side. 6 minutes gone here in the first overtime. Off the far boards, grabbed down by James. Over to Makar. Makar from center, skating up his Canada with it. Shot right on goal, third away by Hellenic. It's down and scooped up by USA to clear. How stressful is this game? Not enough. Pass early is the answer. Canada's hitting things up, and moving up is Makar. Cale Makar, right around Jacob Slavin. Dispossessed. Excellent defense from Slavin, but the Canadians arrive for support. Back to the play, Toews. He loads up, is kicked out, and USA will guide this rebound away. It's Larkin. Larkin up for Matthews. He's had several chances so far. Will he get another? Around the boards from Brayden Tkachuk to Matthews. Back towards the point. Long shot it on goal. Swept away by Binnington. Larkin able to hold. Dylan Larkin. Does he find someone at the point? No, he doesn't. He goes down low at the rink. Guided away by Toews. And now it's MacKinnon going rink wide for Reinhart. He waits and will go for a change as he dumps this one inside. 7 minutes gone in the first overtime. Next goal wins. Jake Sanderson away from all sorts of traffic. Backhanded around. He'll be grabbed by Canada. Seth Jarvis deflects this through. Empress Marchand behind the net. And Jake Sanderson got bodied off the puck. USA will get this one up. zone. Jake Gensel is back out there. Morrissey now for the near side. Zach Morrissey. Easy kick save by Binnington, and Sanheim will want to get it away from Gensel. Americans hold it at the far corner. Around goes JT Miller. Still waiting at the far corner. Same things up for Hanneman. Hanneman shoots this one, and Binnington turns it away. At the far corner are the Americans, and Canada plays this one out, and it's cleared out. And Canada's making some changes. Colton Parayko's out to the ice. Moving up for the far side, Brayden point as he stops. Point. One time for the left point. And that went over Hellebuck. USA wants to clear, and they do. Race for this puck. In pursuit is Jack Hughes. And this photo finish, and it's won by Canada.
Well, we'll see here if the icing is going to be the difference, but you really can't blame the Americans the way they played in OT. Jordan Binnington, 6 stops in OT. This has been far and away his best game. He's the reason why this one's still going. 11:50 left should we need it.
This is his legacy game. If you thought the Game 7 against Boston was the legacy game, he's outdoing himself so
Yes.
far. 33 shots, he's turned away 31 of them. So close to as told as they did in Game 7 against the Bruins just 6 years ago. Tied him, shot on the face-up. Hellebuck was there. Makar able to hold. Just goes to the far corner. Set up on for the goal. They score! It's Connor McDavid! The Four Nations face-up to Canada!
Congratulations, Canada, right there off the draw. I think that icing was going to be enough there. Jordan Binnington, my goodness, I know Connor McDavid's going to get the accolades. He's my number one star. This one could have been over 6, 7, 8 minutes ago, if not for Binnington. Congratulations to him. Congratulations, Canada. They get the all-important rematch, but this game was absolutely phenomenal.
And absolutely, Canada gets the win. I knew we could beat them. I called it. I told you it was going to be an overtime. I told you, let's go, Canada.
I have no disappointment whatsoever.
Nope, me either.
Woo!
This was a gem. You know what? Bring this back every year and let the players play with this intensity every single time. This is better than any All-Star game they've ever had. I put everything on that. This was amazing. And fellas, hockey season isn't over. This felt like the playoffs, but we still got more to go.
Yes.
Oh, baby.
Well said, my friend.
Yeah, well said indeed. I am not disappointed whatsoever, even with the sadness that comes with USA losing this game. This was the best game of the entire tournament, hands down.
Yeah.
And how fitting that the next one, that many people were touting him at the time when he was drafted. Connor McDavid, 15 years after Sidney Crosby scored the golden goal against USA in the Olympics, he scores the golden goal for Canada to clinch the Four Nations face-off here in Boston. What a way to end this. Wow.
Man, you couldn't ask for any more. I mean, what's Connor Hellebuck going to do right there? It's McDavid right in the middle of a slot. He could have picked the left corner, right corner, bottom left, bottom right. Jordan Binnington, take a bow, sir. You've had some of those games where it was maybe not so much, but, I mean, overtime, whatever it is in that opener, we saw that in between Sweden, did we not, Alec? And then the overtime now. Overtime brings out the best in Mr. Binnington.
Hey, John, Alec, a word from Tree. Well, it's official. America is the 11th province.
The 11th province, let's go.
Well, wait until I know what was a rather harsh statement turned into a nice little innocent joke about 11th province. Well, here's the thing. Canada may be the nicest country in North America, but you don't mess with them. And even for all the chance of USA in the Stanley Cup final, I think that's hypocritical. The USA chance to warrant it in best-on-best tournaments, but here, let's not lie to ourselves. This is still Canada sport.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think you really wanted to see that. Again, you could talk about this one way or another as far as World Juniors. I understand it's not on the same level as this, and I'm not even equating it as that. But the United States able to win the last couple and feel good. But make no mistake about it, when you got best on best here, we knew going into this that it was going to be tough. And you know what? Honestly, for Team USA, regardless of everything that happened, they played quite well, toe to toe. And again, when those 8-9 minutes there, when it could have easily gone the other way, if not for Jordan Binnington, this would be a completely different story. But we got a good head-to-head as we should. It's a shame that it's not best of 3 or best of 5 the way that this is going. But again, congratulations to Canada. I hope we get this sent again sooner rather than later.
Well, with that being said, fellas, I am looking forward to the rest of this season. And, had this every year, injected into my veins. This is hockey, baby. And it commands everyone, and it commands the nation's respect.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Man,
Said it best. Yep.
what a game, Alec. I don't think we'll ever, and again, we'll see Stanley Cup finals and everything else across the board. I don't think we'll ever get something that tops it more than this.
No game is ever going to top this game unless we have another instant classic Game 7 and the Stanley Cup final like we did last season. But this game is the cream of the crop in the NHL season. We can only imagine the ratings for this game going through the roof. And when it peaked, you can just imagine how much it's going to accumulate. The Sportsnet side is getting started up right now discussing the final of this game. We want to wonder who's going to win tournament MVP. You know who's my money's on? Nathan MacKinnon.
Oh, I was thinking Connor McDavid, but McKinnon's good too.
No, I'm with Alec. I think it's on MacKinnon. It better be MacKinnon.
I was going to say throughout that tournament.
Halifax Floyd.
Yeah, throughout the tournament, there's 4 goals. Again, hopefully they get a chance to show it. I don't want to keep Alec too much longer here, but I do want to at least get the trophy and the MVP side of it.
As a Canadian, I want to keep the American as long as I can.
No, I want to make sure that he can catch everything too, but we want to stick with you as alongside this trophy and everything else as Connor McDavid gets a celebration. But yeah, you got 4 goals for MacKinnon from me. And again, you could say as far as the game MVP, we already know who that is. You could give it to McDavid all you want, but I'm not going to. It's Jordan Binnington for the overtime performance. He made about 7-8 saves that probably should have gone in the net. He robbed Austin Matthews 3 times.
That alone gives me game MVP to Jordan Binnington. He's easily the man of this match. We're all talking about McDavid. The MVP of this game should go rightfully to Mr. Jordan Binnington.
That's got to feel good for you at least a little bit, Ian. I know it wasn't the result that you wanted there, but Jordan Binnington needed that showcase game, and he really showed you what he could still do. But he's got some defense behind him, and even when he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan I haven't seen, as a St. Louis Blues fan, his legacy games was like Game 7 against Boston in 2019. This is a close second.
It's got to be. I agree with you.
And you know what? I don't know how long he's going to be with the Blues before they ship him off too, because unfortunately we're just not headed in the right direction. But good Lord, on the off chance the Blues can get it together and are able to put a team around this man, we will go back to the promised land, and we will get a second Stanley Cup. I guarantee it.
You're not getting any argument from me. He plays that way. That was about as good as I've ever seen anyone play in goal. As we're still getting some of the celebrations, and we're starting to get everything squared away, Alec. And then when we can get to the trophy and the MVP, we can lay that all out on the line. But I think go ahead.
Sorry. If I were to call that Brodeur or Kostick S, would I be overstating it?
Absolutely not, Ian. That's exactly what he just did.
tournament MVP is going to Connor McDavid, it appears.
I think he'll get it just for the game-winning goal alone. I know that's not the most enlightening take, but that's why he got it.
Well, the game-winning goal is a factor in and of itself, but the consensus best player in the NHL, of course, for all that I think it's a respectful selection, but if you want my vote, Nathan MacKinnon is getting his trophy.
Nathan MacKinnon's going to win MVP. That's the right call.
Okay. I mixed it up. I thought it was McDavid getting 4 Nations face-off MVP. It's MacKinnon getting 4 Nations face-off MVP, and that's the right call.
Yeah, McDavid got player of the game, and MacKinnon got MVP, it looks like. Those are the right calls. Except with the player of the game, I'd give that to Binnington, but MVP definitely to MacKinnon. He deserves it.
The player of the game is more of a toss-up, but I lean Binnington for a spectacular performance in that overtime. Those two sprawling saves were the highlight.
Yes. That's the only reason why we're sitting here where we're sitting right now.
Now we also have the 4 Nations trophy that's out there, and we have Captain Crosby himself waiting for the presentation of 4 Nations face-off trophy. Devon Toews is skating up right now.
So they still get those gold medals and everything else across this too. So this really does feel like WJC, and alongside with the trophy, that is very cool.
And so they're going by numerical order, it seems, for the gold medal presentation for each one of them.
So we get a chance to get through some medal rounds now, and then Cale, Makar. I mean, boy, oh boy, what a difference makes when you bring somebody like that back into the lineup. I'm going to battle through some illness. He had Shea Theodore's injury, Josh Morrissey in the same side. They had to recall Thomas Harley. No problem. You put him there on the third line. You move guys in and out. I mean, everybody throughout this 4 Nations throwing their body on the line for love of country and everything else. This could not be topped. I mean, I hope, as we talked about, and decided as Brad Marchand carrying, looks like McAvoy on his back on the side of it. Maybe not. But he's having some fun there in the mix of it, and alongside with his friends. And you know what? I mean, this couldn't be any better. I'm not even upset, as Ian said, with the result. I really enjoyed everything across. Good job by you, Alec, and company, everyone else getting this across. And I hope we get to do this again sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I hope so too. Next year, when the Olympics come to Milan, we can do a little hockey games over there. Men's side, women's side. I think we should focus on both of them.
I think depending on where the time difference is in Italy, I might have to make sure that I get up bright and early. Hey, if we have to do some 4 or 5 a.m. calls, if it's for any sort of medals or things like that, I'm certainly going to be ready to go. And look, I know the Tampa Bay Lightning have won a few Stanley Cups before they were dethroned by the Avalanche several years ago, but I'd still take a gold medal here for Cirelli, Hagel, and Point. I imagine they're going to enjoy that too.
Yeah, something more to add to their trophy case. And Jarvis, attaboy.
Mm-hmm. Seth, Jarvis.
Even though it wasn't slaving, Alec, it is still a press Peninsula over the hockey world. A Hurricane still want a gold medal. So you can take it. So the Hurricane will take you, and you can take this to the bank. Keep going to our game.
That never gets old. And Josh Morrissey, see him walking up to the gold medal, and not Josh Morrissey, but just Nathan MacKinnon coming on his way to get his gold medal. And for all intents and purposes, there's a part of me that it says that I feel bad that Alex Pietrangelo isn't going to see this after he withdrew from the tournament. Now he wanted to focus on the rest of the NHL season, but whatever is ailing him from his injury, I hope it's nothing too serious, and I hope he gets better on the way to the road. Aiden Hill got his gold medal, and the fist bump. Whew.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Alec. I mean, it's got to be a tough call to pull in out of the tournament, but I imagine, considering the way that all of these teams played, you have to be really injured if you're missing this one because these guys are already beat up just from playing these games.
Well, the rest of the NHL is relatively healthy.
So have they announced the MVP?
Yep, it was Nathan MacKinnon, I believe.
I can respect that. Okay.
Yeah, MacKinnon MVP and McDavid got player of the game. I think those are the right calls there. And for Thomas Harley, that's got to feel pretty good. You're able to step right in and get a gold.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, set one of them up. In the absence of Josh Morrissey, Canada needed a defenseman to step up, and they found themselves a young stud in Thomas Harley. For all the talk that Miro Heiskanen gets, Harley can be up there with the elite of the elite defensemen too. He's going to be a cornerstone for Dallas in years to come.
And now you see the couple of Blues there in Colton Parayko and Jordan Binnington getting the golds.
Yep. Very well deserved. Very well deserved. So if we go, fellas, as you watch and call the celebration, if it's all right, before we end the broadcast, I want to look ahead to Saturday when the NHL gets back into season, but we can wait till the end.
Let's do it.
All right. So, starting off Saturday, it starts Central Time, 11:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The first game, look at this. Minnesota Wild versus your Detroit Red Wings, Mr. Hot. And let's see. That will be on ABC, a nationally televised game. How about that? Let's see. There's also the next televised game will be the Capitals versus the Penguins. That might be let's see. What else?
Nationally televised as well.
Yep, nationally televised. Let me see. Hurricanes and Maple Leafs on the NHL Network for anyone who has that. That will most likely be a good game. Let's see. What else are they? Oh, they only have 2 televised games for the whole day. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing the last one on Sportsnet. Rocky on Canada will be the Canucks and the Golden Knights. That'll be about 10:15 Eastern. That should be a good one at the end of it. But we're gonna have a really good weekend, and it's pretty surprising right out of the gate, Alec, that your and my teams are going to be starting here for nationally televised games. So I hope that the Pens and the Wings can pick up some W's.
Hopefully. Well, I don't know if my Bengals are going to pick up the slack and helping stuff, but the Red Wings, I'm hoping that you guys finally break the long drought and make the playoffs this year.
Well, are you going to be doing that game, John? Pens and Wings?
I'm going to be doing Canucks Golden Knights. I'm going to do the late night game. So I'm going to stay away from the Red Wings for a little bit because they're going to be playing a bunch of games between the Wild and all that. I've been covering them to death. So I'm going to give them a break up until March, and then we'll start again as we're getting the Canadian national anthem and the flag being risen across. Some Oilers fans have been able to stay in along as well. And these boys have got to be proud about their effort because it was fantastic. And I hope that we get a chance to do this again. And I want to shake my fist at Mr. John Cooper because I'm a little bit mad, but I'm not.
Let me see.
So that is a cool sight.
Yeah.
As they all are singing along right before the trophy presentation. And you know, the extra boost of motivation and what is giving them, and the fireworks coming out. Well, not exactly fireworks, but the little sparks right in front of the trophy before the trophy gets presented to none other than Sidney Crosby himself. This is very fun to witness and very hype. Well worth it. In the NHL, please keep this.
Yes, and I don't want to say, Alec, that this might be the last go-around for Sid the Kid. I don't even want to think about that, but Sidney Crosby is really thinking about that too, as far as being able to get the Americans there, as Gary Bettman's there out alongside and shaking hands. I mean, this is pretty cool for 87, and I hope that you get to enjoy this as well, because even I'm enjoying watching Sidney Crosby lift this trophy.
Before we go, I don't know if he had a part in it, but if he did, let's go and give props to Gary Bettman for all the mistakes
Yes.
he's made. For all the mistakes he's made in the past, this was genius. Mr. Bettman, kudos.
Good on you, Ian. I agree with you. I agree.
Kudos to you, Bettman, and but I still can't wait until you're gone. Because Gary Bettman hates Canada, and I think that's been obvious for years.
Yeah.
But you got this one right, man. So look at that.
Yeah.
That is a whole other discussion that I'm not going to touch.
Yeah, it's another discussion about Bettman's legacy, in which we can discuss for later. And the players
Sounds like a good discussion while we're waiting around for things to happen on trade deadline day.
No kisses on the trophy, by the way.
Sorry?
No kisses on the trophy, by the way.
Oh.
No, they're not celebrating this like it's the Stanley Cup, but they know the real meaning behind this. It's your country. It's your national pride, and Canada has accomplished this.
Yeah, it definitely matters all the way across the board, Alec. Again, I don't want to keep it too much longer. I'm going to get set to settle off. Hey, I appreciate you sticking with me throughout all of this. This was a lot of fun. We've covered a lot of different events over the years, but I've got to say, in between even some of the Stanley Cup finals, this might be my favorite one of all time.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Hey, you have a safe flight. I know we'll talk soon in March. The rest of you gentlemen, take care. I'll be back in around Saturday, and you'll see me in around throughout the week. I got some Shark stuff next week. I'll sign off. Congratulations, Owen. Go enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you.